That's Kate Smith singing Irving Berlin's God Bless America on Irving Berlin's 100th birthday today. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Sports Arena. Chuck Hines along with Clive Griffiths. Clive, what about the keys to today's ball game?
Well, for start, Chuck, it's going to be important that we get the mental edge on the San Diego team. We're going to do that by high pressure, and once again, like we did in the last game, got to force them into mistakes, frustrate them, make them give away a few bad passes, and that's going to give Kansas City Comets that mental edge. Got to get big games again from rookie defenders. Frazier and Bonchek, they did a tremendous job on last Saturday's game. We're looking for a repeat performance. Got to have a lot of patience when creating at opportunities. San Diego, we're not going to get a lot out of them tonight, so we got to be patient, and our chances will come. Got to get plenty of movement off the ball, especially through the midfield. It's going to give us a lot of good angles to get the pressure off the defense, and you know we're going to be under a lot of pressure tonight.
As far as the San Diego Sockers are concerned?
Well, I think the Sockers have got to put a lot more emphasis on their defense from their midfield players. Franco Segota made a quote in the newspaper just this morning, actually, that he feels his midfield players got to concentrate more on defense, especially as their defenders throw themselves forward so much that the midfield players got to be a little bit more conscious about the midfield defense. And obviously they got to isolate the forwards one-on-one because they have such great forward players.
So, Clive's keys to today's ball game. Dave Clements, 14-15 in MISL postseason play. 6-3 with the Kansas City Comets, directed the club to the victory Saturday night of 5-4 Comet victory. Game 1 of the Western Division Finals. Game 2 is obviously tonight. It's great to have you here with us on the West Coast this evening. Do have a final score from the Eastern Division tonight. Cleveland winning at the Richfield Coliseum over Minnesota 5-4. So the Force leads that series 2-1. So while the East Coast is done, time for the West Coast to play, and that's exactly what we're getting ready to do. The Comets will start it off with Jan Goossens, David Doyle, Armando Betancourt, Kim Runfed, and Dave Bonchek. Jim Gorsick will be in goal tonight for the San Diego Sockers. They alternate their goalkeepers, Zoltan Toth and Jim Gorsick. So Gorsick will go tonight, Clive.
Well, actually, both goalkeepers are very top performers for the San Diego Sockers, both enjoying great seasons this year. And Coach Ron Newman obviously doesn't mind which one he goes with. He's willing to alternate these guys because they both do perform so well.
What they're doing right there is wiping up where apparently some of the dry ice stuff spilled over from the soccer side. Gorsick noticed that just as they were getting the ball kicked off, and he said, hey, I want to get that wiped up. And the Comets will go with Alan Mayer tonight.
Yeah, and as we took a look at Alan Mayer down there, Alan Mayer came up big, and it's nice to see the coach going with Alan Mayer again. He's hot. Eddie Gettemeyer right now is still suffering from his finger injury, so we're pretty confident right now with Alan's performances.
Ed Gettemeyer at home. Alan Mayer will go it alone here tonight. Comets with the ball and start things off here in the first quarter of play. Betancourt in the penalty area, couldn't get a foot on it, and the Sockers will come back with it. Here's a look at Julie V. He is now the all-time playoff leader as far as the San Diego Sockers are concerned from a point-scoring standpoint. So he's always been a guy that does a good job in the playoffs and also against the Comets. Armando Betancourt and Julie V get hooked up, and the foul will go against San Diego. That'll go against Julie V, the first of the ball game.
And Julie V, Chuck, you talk about him leading the San Diego Sockers with 97 points, but he's a competitor too, and we already see the tone right now where Julie V has spent the first couple of minutes of this game back in the defense.
Goossens gets it back off the chest of Doyle. Goossens in the corner. Goose trying to come up with something and unable to, but he is fouled. Fouled there by Brian Quinn, so that'll be the second San Diego foul. Now, if you're wondering, the scoreboard clock is working tonight, so we'll be able to give you all the accurate times, but Brian Quinn gets whistled down for the second foul. There's a look at the scoreboard, the clock working, the penalties working, and the fouls too.
I think that's going to see the tone of the game for the rest of the evening here, Chuck, because both teams are going to play very aggressively this evening. Quotes in the paper again all week long that San Diego may be criticized for not having the intensity that they should have, and they're going to want to put that right this evening.
San Diego gets back so quick offensively. They have great team speed. We talked about that the other night, and you saw a good example of it right there. Julie V, it appears, sporting new white shoes here tonight, so he's maybe trying to look a little faster than he actually is. There's a nice steal by the San Diego Sockers. Here's the Sockers on the counterattack. Schmetzer out top, looking in. When Ian Fraser, we talked about his defensive play the other night and again tonight.
And what can we say about Ian Fraser? As you well know, Chuck, and as everybody knows, Ian Fraser was my man of the match in game number 1. He had just had a tremendous game, leading the Cedars with 19 block shots at this point.
Demir Haramina on the wing far side. Demir trying to turn and fire, can't. Ian Fraser leads all playoff competitors with 19 block shots, so he has been doing the job here the last several games. Foul goal against Kansas City. There was a bump there by Demir Haramina against Hugo Perez.
I'll notice how, for our fans' information at home, Chuck, you'll see Barry Wallace is playing in that defensive role again for the Comets. It was in game number 1 on Saturday where I felt that the game changed in the favor of the Comets when Barry started playing at the back and started giving us more offense. He has that ability to go forward.
Dougherty takes his shot. It's blocked out, but Wad Hermes will control things for San Diego. Backheel to Gusman Callis. Turning and firing and missing is Bronco Segota. Segota had a penalty kick goal the other night. He did not play, though. Aside from being involved in the power play opportunities for San Diego, he is going to see more action tonight.
Well, he certainly made that public, Chuck, in the paper again this morning, where he said he's going to play as many minutes in this game this evening as he possibly can.
The other night he wore an elastic wrap on his quadricep to help it out a little bit from a support standpoint. He's not wearing it tonight. Apparently feels he's 95 or 100%. He's ready to go. Early on in this game, nothing. First quarter, we're about 3 minutes into it. Tempo was such a big key the other night. Soccer seemed to control the first quarter and parts of the third, but the Comets came up and did it in the fourth quarter. And you look to have somebody come out and take advantage or take control early on, don't you?
Well, a lot of people feel, Chuck, if you can hang in there with this San Diego team here in this arena for the first 3 quarters, then you're going to be in with a good shot at it at the end of the game, because after 3, their old legs start getting a little bit tired in quarter number 4. So if we can hang in there until the fourth quarter, we're going to be okay. And
how many times in different sports have we seen teams that dominate throughout regular seasons that don't get a chance to test their legs in the fourth quarter have problems in the playoffs? Steal by the Comets. Kia trying to get by Paul Dougherty. A matchup of the smalls there, and Dougherty wins for the moment. Kia, though, slides in, gets it out. Barry Wallace. Barry Wallace takes it off the chest and off the shin, along with Ian Fraser. Here come the Comets in the counterattack. Goossens, sliding tackle made there by Schmetzer. Then Schmetzer fouls Goose. That'll be the 3rd foul against San Diego.
And that's what San Diego feel that they missed in the last game, was a certain amount of intensity, and Schmetzer there showing the rest of his teammates what he expects for the course of this evening.
Schmetzer going to the bench with a left shoulder injury, so perhaps he did more than commit a foul there, might have committed an injury to himself. Charlie Green. Charlie takes a shot into the penalty area. It's blocked out by San Diego. Runfed will run it down for Kansas City. Kim Runfed has 13 block shots so far in the playoffs, and he continues to impress and continues to show good leadership as far as the team's concerned.
Well, Kim Runfed, Chuck, actually has 39 appearances in playoff action for a total of 50 points.
Mayer knocks it down but can't do this one. San Diego on the board. Scoring is Hugo Perez. Perez had 2 goals Saturday against San Diego. He'll get this one here in the first quarter with 10:37 remaining.
That's what San Diego wanted to do, Chuck, was draw first blood. As we take a look on this ball comes across, it's actually an assist, I think, from Kevin Crowe. And Perez makes no mistake with that left-footed shot. Yet it is again, it was Kevin Crowe with a hard ball across the face of goal. Alan Mayer couldn't get all of that, couldn't bring it into his chest. Following up is Perez with just a tremendous shot on that near side.
And they're going to take Schmetzer to the locker room. We talked about his shoulder injury. He might have a separated shoulder or something along those lines. They're going to take him in right away and see what's wrong with him during this break. But, you know, it was unfortunate for Allen that he wasn't able to scoop it up. As you said, it was a rebound off his chest that allowed Perez to just fire that home and boom it into the corner.
And unfortunately, Chuck, them sort of things are going to happen for goalkeepers in this game. You're not going to pick up every single shot that comes your way. And unfortunately, that one bounces off his chest and goes right in the path of Perez.
Time of the goal, 4:23 of the first period. San Diego, as Clive said, drew first blood. They lead 1-0 here at the Sports Arena. Interesting to note that the Comets have won 2 of the last 3 playoff meetings in this building. In fact, the Comets have won 4 of the last 8 overall. So certainly Ron Newman has his strategy out early, but Comets do have a good pass to draw from within.
Well, that's just exactly right, Chuck. This might be something that the Comets need. They keep coming back every time and play better when they're coming back from behind. So no need for us to panic at this point.
Betancourt loses it, but Runfed comes in from behind Perez and knocks it away. San Diego keeps it alive, not until, though, Mocallis heads it out of bounds here on the near sideline. One thing that the San Diego guys talked about in the paper today was lethargy. They said they were very lethargic. They didn't see the intensity. Certainly San Diego has come to play here tonight, and they proved that in the early going of the first quarter.
Well, Chuck, we talked at the top of the show in the keys there about the mental edge, and that's exactly what we're talking about right there. When you mention that, is the fact that if San Diego go away from here tonight, losing the game, then Kansas City Comets have definitely got the edge as far as that mental edge when they go back to Kansas City for 3.
Juan Hermes trying to work against Wallace. Wallace booted it away momentarily, but Hermes was able to control. Hugo Perez coming in on the line change, going over to Gus Mocallis. Julie B. B at the top of the D. A whistle and a 2-minute violation in the penalty area. It looks like both are going in. Ian Frazier for Kansas City, and then a San Diego player. Apparently some pushing and shoving going on.
Well, that's what happens, Chuck, when you got 2 referees out there on the field. You have one guy watching the action, and the other guy is instructed to watch the action off the ball. And that's what we've got to be careful of, is giving away stupid penalties. It's stuff off the ball. You got to be very careful, because them guys are going to be all over it.
Hugo Perez will go in for San Diego. Ian Frazier for Kansas City.
And here we got to take a good look at what was going on off the ball there. As Ian Frazier is trying to front Perez. Perez comes in front of him and starts shoving the elbow in his chest.
And really, this is a continuation of game 1, and something we talked about before the start of the game, that Ian Frazier had matched up with Hugo Perez. As you see, Jan Goossens being tackled by Brian Schmetzer, who went into the locker room just a few moments ago with that left shoulder injury. But really, this is good for Frazier to match up with Hugo Perez and say, you're not going to bully me around. You're not going to bully us around. We're going to take shots right back at you.
Well, he's been doing well. And looking at that replay again, Chuck, I question what the problem was with Ian Frazier. All he was doing was fronting Perez. That's legal.
At any rate, the officials calling it close here in the early going of this game. Julie B stepping in front of the Armando Betancourt legs and coming away with it. That's Mocallis. The goal by San Diego was the first time in the playoffs this year during the road games, before road games, that an opponent has scored first in the Comets. Mayer looking as it knocks hard off the board. San Diego gets it back. Now Betancourt with it. Betancourt leads it out front for Dale Mitchell. Mitchell trying to run down in the corner. Comes up with it, working against Fernando Clavijo, and Mitchell taken down. Foul, that's the 4th on San Diego. Runfed can't get a shot on it. As Kevin Crow gets in the way of his feet. Now, here comes Segota. Segota fires, and San Diego leads 2-0. One-on-one, Segota and Mayer, and the Sockers really have the confidence going.
Again, Chuck, one of the keys we didn't get to talk about at the top of the show, though it was up there plain as day, was what they've got to try and isolate our defenders, which is what Segota did right there. Segota battles away. Batty Wallace looks like he's got total control of this situation. Normally, Batty does. Gets caught up on that board a little bit. Branko Segota doesn't give up and goes on in on Alamea one-on-one, and that's a forte of Segota. One-on-one, this guy is absolutely outstanding.
Almost again, looked like the ball went between Allen's arm and the side of his stomach.
What happened with Batty here, unfortunately for Batty, the ball comes off the board, bounces off the board a little bit stronger than he anticipated, making it go out of his control and putting Segota in control. And he makes no hassle with that as he puts it away in the back of the net.
So San Diego leads here 2-0 in the first period. Comets want to get back in this ball game from a scoring standpoint and also keep their confidence up. Bonchek in the penalty area takes a shot, but Gorsick is right there. Jim Gorsick 1-1 in the playoffs, a goals against average of 4.80. The number 3 goalkeeper this year in the MISL. His teammate Zoltan Toth is number 1. Julie B has it knocked from behind by Kim Runfed. Gorsick's goals against average for the MISL this year was 5th best of 3.89. It's Kansas City 4-1. career record of 12-4 against the Comets. Whistle and a stoppage of play. The foul will be against Kansas City. That's the Comets' second.
And for the information of our fans and viewers that are watching the game, Chuck, maybe some of them for the first time, the MISL rule is that when there's offsetting penalties, then the player in the box remains in the box even when a goal is scored.
Marco Segota and Runfed. Runfed hammers Segota, and the foul will go against San Diego. So San Diego gets its 5th foul here in the first quarter with 7:57 remaining.
Well, Batty Wallace talked in our last interview about he was going to show them that he wasn't going to be messed around and kicked them all over this field, and Segota showing, I think it was Kim Runfed right there, that he feels the same way.
Here comes Hugo Perez in the open field. Perez at the red line. Perez gets tripped up momentarily. Ian Frazier kind of faked him out. He couldn't find Juan Hermes like he wanted to on the wing. And now Frazier heads it out for Jan Goossens. Here's Goose at midfield. Down to the San Diego defensive end. Bonchek kicks it off the board. And the foul against San Diego. That'll be their 6th. And the Comets will have the first power play chance here tonight. So with 7:24 remaining in period 1, the Sockers lead 2-0. We'll be right back. Tonight's game is a sports presentation of the American Cablevision Sports Network. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or otherwise use of the pictures or accounts of this game is prohibited without the express written consent of the American Cablevision Sports Network and the Kansas City Comets. So the Comets go on the power play here in the first quarter. Kansas City down 2-0, and they need to just get back little by little.
That's right, and they've done it so many times before, Chuck. We're used to this situation, so let's see what the guys can do here.
Ball kicked out of bounds on the penalty killing for San Diego. They're 4 of 12. The Comets on the power play in the playoffs, 6 of 16. Remember, though, Kansas City got a winning power play goal with 10 seconds left in the game on Saturday night, courtesy of Barry Wallace. So the Comets, after some problems with their power play, found it the right time on Saturday night, right at the end. And got the game-winning goal, courtesy of Barry.
And the Comets, again, have changed their power play unit here. Again, we see Demir Haramina as the quarterback, as opposed to Kim Runved, who we used to see in that familiar position.
San Diego with tough defense here in the early going of this power play. Goossens, again, good penalty killing by San Diego there. It was a nice knockdown by Crow. Now on the counterattack, San Diego trying to come up with a shorthanded goal, and they won't, as George Fernandez took the shot off the glass.
And look at them guys getting back, Chuck. Yeah, after a run like that straight up the middle on offense, and here they are back in their own zone defending.
Kevin Crow got the assist from both the goals here in this game so far. The opening goal by Perez, and Segota's goal just a few moments ago went to Kevin Crow as an assist standpoint.
And interesting to note here, Chuck, also that when the Comets are a man down, they tend to high pressure to try and force mistakes to the pass being out to wide. San Diego quite willing to sit back and let the offensive players of Kansas City make the mistakes.
Kia with a nice knockdown there by Gorsuch. Good goalkeeping by San Diego has really kept them involved in many a game this year. That's why they're a team that went 42-14 during the regular year.
Tremendous goalkeeping by Gorsuch, and a fine move there from the Comets' young Kia.
Mitchell, top of the D. Mitchell trying to get through the penalty area. Can't. Barry Wallace wanted to take a shot. Couldn't. Kia did too. He couldn't either. Juan Hermes kicks it out. Now 18 seconds remain in the Comet power play. That, of course, because of the bench penalty to San Diego for 6 fouls. Up top of the D, it's Barry Wallace. Wallace fires, can't. Goossens takes a shot, hits the top right portion of the goal area, and then bounds out of bounds. 4 seconds remain in the Comet power play. The word on Brian Schmetzer, a dislocated left shoulder. Probably done for the night. Dave Bonchek trots back on the field for Kansas City. An indication that the power play is just about over. As 4 seconds remain, and San Diego has it. 5:27 remains here, period number 1. Sockers have jumped out to a 2-0 lead. 4:23 of this period. Perez scoring from Crow. 12:03. Segota scoring from Crow. Kevin Crow with 2 assists here in the early going. Bronco Segota now with 2 goals in this playoff series. Had one Saturday night and one here tonight. Dale Mitchell in the San Diego zone. Mitchell gets it out to Boncheck. Boncheck on the wing, looks up front, has Betancourt. Betancourt trying to get it into Mitchell. Kicked out by Fernandez. Bronco Segota, as Mayer will kick it back to the midfield area for David Doyle. Doyle can't maintain control. It goes back to Dorsey, who wings it out past midfield to Bronco Segota. Segota and Kim Runfed. Looks like that's going to be a matchup tonight.
Yeah, that's going to be a tremendous battle, actually, Chuck, because we've got 2 of the most probably aggressive players in the entire league there, one offensively and one defensively.
Well, the Western Division Finals continue on Friday night at Kemper Arena, then Sunday evening as well, and a week from Saturday night, I should say, the 21st. So you can get tickets at Kemper or calling the Cats outlets at 421-7770, the Comets office.
And a reminder to everybody, Chuck, they can also get their tickets out at all the indoor soccer facilities, All-American Indoor Sports, Just for Kicks, Heart of America, the Soccer Dome. They can get tickets for Comets games at any of them facilities.
The series is going to be a good matchup, and it, once again, will continue on Friday night, May the 13th. Doyle up top, triple teamed, and San Diego gets the ball away from him. It's pretty hard to maintain it when you've got 3 guys all around you.
God, these guys have certainly set the tone for the rest of the game. I think, Chuck, they'd come out like bats out of trees, and they're all over the place.
Brian Quinn kicked that ball out of bounds. Look at the San Diego bench. They did not seem to be, a team that was really a team. They've said that we've lacked the intensity, that championship-type spark. Brian Quinn said some things in the paper. Bronco Segota, Ron Newman. But that maybe has united this team.
Just goes to show you, Chuck, that you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have the right chemistry, the right mix, if you're not willing to go out there and roll your sleeves up and want it bad enough, then even the most talented of teams are going to have problems. You've got to want to win.
Well, you talked about Dallas at the top of the show, the Sidekicks winning last year on emotion. Emotion can only carry you so far, right?
That's right. But it will take you a long way.
The Comets look to get back in this game physically and emotionally. Hermina on the wing. Demir doing it all himself here momentarily. Kicks it out to Frazier. Frazier has his shot blocked by Fernando Clavijo. They go over far side for Tasso Katsoukas. Foul against San Diego, and that's their 7th. 3:40 remains here, first period. Gus McAllis didn't like it. Shot taken by Goossens. Frazier, Tasso. Demir misses. Boy, Comets were unlucky there. Kansas City had everything going their way.
Great opportunity there for Demir Hermina, who Demir come up big in the last game. Kind of got overshadowed by other performances, but come out with a goal and 2 assists and had a great opportunity right there.
Goossens did a great job to keep his feet, but now Demir is knocked down from behind. That'll be the 8th foul against San Diego.
There's no question about that, Chuck. As we take a look, here's Brian Quinn, who's a feisty Irishman and a very key player for San Diego, certainly throwing his weight around.
Barry Wallace will run down this ball for Kansas City to make sure that Zoran Karic doesn't go very far with it. Into the corner to Goossens. Goossens trying to give it back to Tasso or Ian Frazier. And it's Barry Wallace who kicks it right into the chest of Paul Dougherty.
This is why I think Ian's got to be a little bit careful here. He had a great game on Saturday, but seems to be wanting to throw himself forward a lot here this evening. Might be better for Ian to concentrate on his defense.
Julie B. Over to Juan Hermez. Hermez hits it high and hard off the glass. San Diego has really controlled this ball game so far. Knocked down by Frazier. Hermez trying to get it back. Mitchell against the boards. To Frazier. To Demir Hermina. Far side to Barry Wallace. Comets trying to get it going. Now Tasso kicks it into the corner. Mitchell will run it down over there. Mitchell trying to turn and shoot and can't. He misses. Rod Hermez just knocks it back easily to Jim Gorsuch. Runfed commits the foul at midfield against Hugo Perez. Kim was just trying to get the ball away, get something going.
I think it was just a great opportunity that Kim didn't want to pass up to put his mark on the game, because very obvious foul, but again, I think just showing San Diego that, hey, we can mix this up too.
Kim so far 4 points, 4 games in the playoffs. He has his mark on this league. Dale Mitchell over to Charlie Green. Charlie in the corner. Gorsuch catches it nicely.
Nice to see Charlie Green out on the floor for the Kansas City Comets. Comets rotating 3 midfield players at this point with Betancourt, Kazookas, and Green. And of course, Charlie Green with a tremendous performance in the playoffs last year here in San Diego. And hopefully Charlie can duplicate some of that effort this evening.
Charlie Green. Charlie and Kevin Crow just hook legs there, and Crow wins out there. That last time downfield for San Diego, you saw a good example of the defensive work that Kia can provide. Looked like Julie V had a runaway. Kia got in front of the ball and knocked it back. Alan Mayer, to let you know about his stats so far in the playoffs, he's 2-0, goals against at 3.71. Foul goes against San Diego, and that's their night. With 1:12 remaining here first period, Comets have 3. Allen's played only 7 of the last 22 games, but he's a guy that can turn it on almost like a light bulb, it seems. Goossens fires and scores! Jan was down on the turf, and Kansas City gets on the board.
And what a great goal that was, Chuck, by Jan Goossens. And everybody down at Murphy's Landing and all you people down in the Soccer Dome sat celebrating right now because Goossens has just broke another Kansas City Comets record with this goal that's coming up right here. And as you see, Jan Goossens under all sorts of pressure, maybe looking for a foul, doesn't give up, and actually he's down on his butt as he puts that ball in the back of the net. Tremendous performance by Jan Goossens, and he has a big salute to Jan Goossens. Everybody toasting this guy in Kansas City.
Goose now with 11 points in the playoffs, 8 goals and 3 assists. Comets trail now by just 1, 2-1. Segota trying to get it back to Dougherty. Dougherty can't get a foot on it. Hermes blocked nicely down by the Comet defense. I believe Armando Betancourt might have gotten a shoulder on it. 45 seconds remains here first quarter. Waiting to get official word on the assist. We'll have it for you momentarily. Important thing, though, is that there's a 1 on the board for Kansas City.
In fact, they might decide to go unassisted on that, Chuck.
McAllis and Clavijo just tap it back and forth. San Diego might be content to run down this period.
Well, and this is where the Comets also got to show a lot of patience, Chuck. You know, we got to, as I say, chip away at the old block. We just come up with a goal. Our guys are going to score goals. We just got to concentrate on not giving nothing up silly. And just like that right there, Goossens, Mitchell, Aramina, they're all capable of turning the tables for you.
Ron Newman, winningest coach in about any soccer book.
6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Gotta respect that guy, Chuck. He's done a lot for soccer over here in the United States, both indoor and outdoor.
5 championship banners hanging here in San Diego, and one of the reasons is Ron Newman, 3 MISL, 2 NASL.
And you talk about intensity, Chuck. That's what this guy is all about. He's a character. He's very colorful. And if you can't follow them footsteps, then I don't know whose footsteps you should be following.
San Diego crowd not liking what they've done. They're giving the Comets the ball back in the corner, apparently saying that the ball should have been placed in play when it was. Hermes just kicks it easily into the hands of Alan Mayer, and Alan will hold on to it for about 5 seconds and then release it. 2 seconds remain here in the first quarter, and that will do it. So we've completed 1 in game 2. San Diego leads by a count of 2-1. Second quarter coming up. Well, the Comets will be coming home tomorrow night, and you can greet the Comets at KCI Eastern Airlines Flight 326. If you're a San Diego soccer fan, well, the soccer's going to be on that flight too, so wave all the Comet banners and let these guys know about your appreciation for them. Want to let you know about the problems that we had with before we talk about the American Cablevision Sports Network. We'll talk about the first quarter stats. Shots on goal, Clive, a little bit more even than it was the other night.
Oh, it certainly is, Chuck, a lot more even, and the Comets probably can feel that they've gained a lot of respect here in game 1 from San Diego, because San Diego now have to be a little bit more cautious in their activities going forward.
Well, we understand that Telecable had some problems with their downlink equipment, and hopefully that situation is in fine form tonight. The wind caused us havoc last Saturday night. Certainly appreciate those of you who stayed tuned with us along the American Cablevision Sports Network. Now we've got that piece of business out of the way. We're ready for the second quarter. Comets trail here 2-1, and the foul will go against Kansas City very early in this second quarter. That'll be their first. Armando Betancourt and Wad Hermes kind of getting tangled up down in the corner. Now they're waiting to get the ball down there to get things restarted. 2-1, Sackers lead here in the second quarter. Betancourt kicks the ball out. Hugo Perez trying to backheel it in, and Kansas City's defense won't have anything of that. Now David Doyle kicks it easily down to Jim Gorsuch. David Doyle had scored in each of the playoff games against the Los Angeles Lasers. In fact, the stats on David Doyle: 3 goals, no assists, 3 points in 4 games. So that Saturday game against LA, against San Diego rather, he was held scoreless, but certainly is contributing in other factors, Clyde.
Yeah, no doubt. He's hasn't done any harm in his bid to become Rookie of the Year, Chuck, that's for sure. The guy's had a great year, and since coming into this team about halfway through the season, has really justified his selection, during the playoff games here.
As far as tempo goes here in this period, the Comets really need to come out and start kicking hard, playing hard. Is that a critical need?
Well, they do, but there's no need to go and be pushing too high of a pressure. They need just to drop back a little bit and be aggressive in the right areas. It's no good forcing it going forward.
Alan Mayer with a great sliding save there. Carriage can't follow it in, but Alan Mayer coming out and getting in front of the San Diego forward there, Ryan Quinn.
Here we'll take a look why you need to, as a goalkeeper, to improve with your feet, as Alan Mayer comes out and makes a tremendous tackle. Could have resulted in the goal for San Diego. As we take another look here, it's definitely a 50-50 ball. Alan's committed himself, and as a goalkeeper, that's what you're going to decide to do. If you're going to go, you better be 100% sure that you're going to win it, and Alan Mayer comes up big for the Comets.
Zoran Karic had not played in the Tacoma series because of a lower abdominal muscle pull. That would have been his first playoff goal if he could have knocked it in, but the Comets getting good defensive work there by Mayer, who, as you said, beat Quinn on the 50-50 ball.
He's got a lot of confidence, Chuck, coming off that great performance the other night, along with the rest of the defense. Obviously, Ian Fraser and Davey Bonchek. Alan Mayer had a tremendous game also.
Well, Alan in the last 6 quarters prior to this game had 22 saves, or 25 saves, 10 against LA and 15 against San Diego Saturday. The foul is against San Diego, and that's their first. So certainly he's full of confidence. Jan Goossens at midfield. Goossens takes on Perez and Segota. No foul call, and now from behind, Segota will get fouled.
It's almost, Chuck, like Jan Goossens was teasing him there to come in and, hey, have another go. He starts to hold up here. He's not going to run with the ball. He's asking Segota to come up me again and draws the foul. A good play by Goossens.
So Segota gets whistled down. That's his second San Diego foul here in the second quarter. Comets have 1. Gus McCallis lays it out front for Clavijo. Perez fires, and from way out, Alan Mayer sees it all the way through those guys and comes up with it and hangs on. As he tries to throw it out, Katsoukas can't get in front. San Diego back with it. Rocco Segota. You can certainly see what they need out of him. He's their offensive leader out there on the floor. He's the guy they look to.
Well, he certainly is to San Diego what Jan Goossens and Mitchell are to the Kansas City Comets. He's a leader, has been for many years.
He's like the missing link for their offense. Segota and Kia at the top of the D.
Whoa, what a play by Perez there, Chuck, as he tips that one over the top of the head of Kia.
It's called ball movement, isn't it? Or at least ball control. Here comes San Diego again. Again, it's Perez. Mayer out in the penalty area, and Mayer is able to grab a hold of it. And Mayer and Hugo Perez are talking very loud at each other, and now Alan puts his arm around him and gives him a swat on the butt.
And in fact, Chuck, it was instructions of Coach Dave Clements today not to get involved in too much what he calls chippy play, and that's little kicks. And he knew that they were going to get things like that happening, that San Diego wanted to come out and be aggressive and be hard, and he didn't want to get caught up in all that emotion.
Near 3 line violation by the Comets. San Diego will get it anyway as Crow comes up with a loose ball in the corner. Bronco Segota. Segota. And in the penalty area, it's Barry Wallace hooking horns of the San Diego player, and Barry comes out of his shoe again.
And on that play, we saw a great move from Branko Segota. Oh my! And there's another move from Branko Segota that puts Tasso Goossens on the floor.
He tripped him up from behind, and that's an automatic 2 minutes, and the Comets will go on the power play.
No question about that one. As we take a look at it, Tasso here, who's no slouch himself, goes on a little sprint as Segota comes in very late and chips him from behind. Just a bad foul there by Branko Segota.
That's Rodolo right there. Rafael Rodolo getting a shot on blank, and Barry Wallace comes right in front and gets his leg on it.
And that was the conclusion of the play that we talked about earlier, that when the ball's put through by Segota, he's got great vision, and that was a good example right there as he put Rutolo away.
And many of the fans here wanted Alan Mayer being called for a handball, saying he went outside the penalty area to hang on to the ball, and it was his movement forward that caught him there. So Branko Segota will go into the penalty box here in the second quarter. Comets are 0 of 1 tonight in the power play. Jan Goossens. Emir Haramina. Ball knocked out of bounds.
Well, McAllis is probably going to come up with a few strawberries on his legs tonight, Chuck, as he's going diving all over the place. But again, trying to uplift the intensity of the San Diego Sockers team.
Segota with 21 points against the Comets in 8 playoff games, and he has a goal here tonight. Had a penalty kick goal the other night.
Certainly, Chuck, one of the stars of this MISL league. It's just a tremendous player, Segota. So much speed, lethal on the shot, sticks goals away, just tremendous. And, of course, a great leader. He goes out there and leads the way and gets the intensity up.
1:30 remains here in the Comet power play. Kansas City with its second power play chance here this evening. Failed on their first one. Mitchell trying to get it back, and Zamir Haramina at midfield for Kansas City. Barry Wallace. Wallace on the wing. Off the glass. He in the penalty area. Goossens follows up. He can't fire it home.
And I bet Goossens would love to have that one again, Chuck. Normally, Jan Goossens, that's what he's at his best, is on shots like that. But unfortunately, that one goes wide.
Dale Mitchell and Kevin Crow battle in the corner along with Clavijo. Mitchell keeps kicking. Barry Wallace steps right back. Crow kicks it out. Gus McAllis gets in front of Wallace. McAllis is very competitive and very feisty. Maintains it for San Diego. Now Clavijo is knocked down by Barry Wallace, and the foul goes against Kansas City. That's the Comets' second.
Chuck, it looks like we're going to see a humdinger here tonight. These guys are going to go at it. Could be a lot of fun.
About 30 seconds remains in the Comet power play. Clavijo, he's dangerous on shorthanded goals. Doesn't come up there, just misses. Clavijo has 2 shorthanded goals against the Comets this year, 5 for his career. Leads the MISL in shorthanded goals with 13.
But not only has he had great speed, Chuck, he also times his run going forward very well. When he breaks, he knows 100% he's going to receive the ball.
Mitchell misses, can't follow up on the shot by Goossens. Demir Haramina knocked down by Gorsuch. That should just about kill the power play by Kansas City. And San Diego kills it the second time they've killed it here tonight. Mitchell chips it in the corner and it goes out of bounds. So San Diego gets some more confidence.
We saw Barry Wallace there as he was trying to look for Jan Goossens on the far side with that chip shot. Unfortunately, Barry put a little bit too much on it with that strong left foot of his, and it goes over the top.
Got to remember that San Diego was the #1 team defensively in the MISL, so it's not like that it's that easy to score on them. And you were saying today that in many respects it's easier to kill a penalty than it is to score a power play goal, and you might explain why that is.
Well, I think it's just, Chuck, that through the course of the game, I think it's much easier probably to defend than it is to go one-on-one. If you're in a one-on-one situation, I would always favor the defender to come up with the ball than the guy going past him and scoring the goal.
Ball knocked out of bounds by San Diego. 8:50 remains here, second period. Sockers lead 2-1. There's the guy that got the goal for Kansas City, Jan Goossens, at 13:58 of this period. The assist went to Kia. So Kia comes up with another key assist. Comets trail 2-1.
You got to respect the little guy, Chuck. He keeps coming big for the Comets all the time. Kia's had a tremendous year, and just look forward to a great future for the young kid.
Foul will go against Kansas City as Bonchek over there battling with Zoran Karic. That's the Comets' third. San Diego also with 3 in this game. Ball kicked out of bounds by San Diego. Might mention, as far as the injury situation is concerned for San Diego, they have a real key injury for them. Ketter is out, and he is probably not going to play in the playoffs. He's always been a guy that's been dangerous as far as the Comets are concerned. And you talked today also about how maybe the Comets losing Kia, if they were, would be comparable to Ketter being lost by San Diego.
Yeah, that's for sure. We all know what a key Kia has been this year. In fact, I was a little bit surprised, Chuck, that we didn't see Ladoucier inserted into the San Diego lineup for this game. Ladoucier is a prominent defender in this league and has been for a number of years, a proven player. And I thought with the defeat last Saturday that they might have inserted him for this game, but Ron Newman had other thoughts.
McAllis tries to head it in, and Cannon Mayer comes up with a big save, and the Comets kick it out defensively by Goossens. San Diego with all kinds of chances down there, and it's just a wonder it didn't go in because McAllis put that thing right on his bald spot and tried to put it in.
McAllis played off a great ball, too. He was under a lot of pressure when he tried to set up, I think, was Brian Quinn for the other shot.
John Goossens. Goose running along the touchline, tripped up by Quinn, no foul called. Officials here tonight, Bill Maxwell and Essie Baharmich. Quinn tried to kick it down in the corner for Hugo Perez, and it's Tasso Katsoukas. You hear the boards banging. Whistle, foul called against San Diego. Goossens and Quinn were kind of hooked up in the corner. That guy doesn't like it. Quinn goes to the bench on the line change.
We saw Tasso Katsoukas tangling it up there, and remember, Tasso Katsoukas is the playoff point scorer for the Kansas City Comets at 22 points.
Foul on San Diego, their fourth. Comets have 3. 7:20 remains here in the second quarter with San Diego up 2-1. Both their goals coming in the first quarter. In fact, all 3 goals so far scored in this game in the first quarter. Dale Mitchell. Mitchell at the San Diego red line, but all kinds of people there defensively for the Sockers, and Mitch couldn't get anywhere.
And we talk about the tones of the game, Chuck. I think it's very obvious now that we've seen San Diego putting on the pressure, and again, I'm sure we'll take a look at the stats later, but it'll show that they again are putting on a lot more shots on goal than the Kansas City Comets. But again, that's a tactic that the Comets play. As we take a look here, Batty Wallace trying a nifty little back heel, and Perez is going in, and don't know really what the call was for there.
It was a foul on Kansas City, but right before the back heel there.
I think it's probably the intent of the play for probably trying to go over the top of the ball.
Fourth foul on the Comets. San Diego also with 4. Hugo Perez steps right in front of Charlie Green. Charlie went down for a second. Perez now being real marked closely by Kia. Kia forced him to give it up. Rod Hermes. Ian Frazier picks it out for Kansas City. Comets have really kept their composure in this game after getting down 2-0. They didn't flap, as Clive would say. Kia with a bicycle kicks it out. And a foul will be called on Perez. It's called against the
penalty kick. A penalty kick given against Kia. I don't believe it. As we take a look here, Chuck, as ball comes into Perez, he's doing a good job of shielding Charlie Green. Charlie Green, in fact, the call goes against Charlie Green for the push in the back. And the referees are right on it, and there's a replay we'll show right here. It's a push in the box by Charlie Green, probably more out of frustration and momentum other than anything else, but a push in the box is a penalty kick. Oh boy, the Comets didn't need this right now.
Alan Mayer talking right now with Bill Maxwell to get the exact explanation on it.
Can't call an official timeout. It's a penalty.
Hugo Perez did a good job of drawing the foul in the penalty area there. He stuck right with it. So Mayer now will have to face a penalty kick, and guess who's going to kick it? Branko Segota. He had one Saturday night.
Well, I'll tell you what, rather Allen than me facing Branko Segota on a penalty kick. This guy's got a heck of a shot. He can bomb him.
Might remember Saturday night, Clive, Segota went to the left.
Well, I'm sure Alan May is thinking about that, and I hope he has as much recall on that, Chuck, as we do up here in the booth, because Alan May, if he can remember from Saturday, that's the only thing he can do. Go by the percentages of where he normally puts the ball.
Charlie Green will be going into the penalty box. Bronco Segota will be getting the penalty kick. And in the playoffs, 2 of 3.
Do you think Tim Bryant can get a note down there to Allen about where Segota put it last week?
You almost wish that Allen had an earpiece on, don't you?
Really?
So Segota will get a chance here to give San Diego a 2-goal lead in the second quarter. Mayer will be on to receive. Segota with the kick. Mayer blocks it and it goes out of bounds.
No, they'll retake that. Alan Mayer left the line way too early. The rule says that the goalkeeper has to stay on the line until the ball is actually struck. Alan Mayer there made a sprint from the line way before the ball was struck. That will result in a retake, and as we take a look right here, I think this will confirm it. Alan Mayer's way off his line before Segota strikes the ball. That results in a retake, and we can't feel bad about that one. The decision is correct. And here we can see the San Diego players claiming it right off the bat.
Alan Mayer trying to get things to go his way. He slams in disgust. He is getting fired up, though, and Segota went left there. Segota again. Mayer knocks it down. What a sliding save there by Allen. Knocked it down with his hand.
But you know, the amazing thing about this, Chuck, is Allen again did the same thing, but this time he got away with it.
Well, he pled his case. At that time, he won.
Yeah, that's right.
When you're not going to call 2 on the guy, how many times would that guy go 2 for 2 on a penalty kick?
Smart play by Alan Mayer. Maybe these are the thoughts going through his mind. I'd love to meet with Alan and talk about that later. And we'll take a look again, and let's see that this confirms what we thought. There goes Mayer again. He's off his line, has done the same thing. You talk about inconsistency in refereeing.
It might have hit his foot. At any rate, it's not a goal, and the Sockers now go on the power play.
Oh, boy.
San Diego on the power play so far in the playoffs, it's been a problem for them. They're at 20%. Comets penalty killing, 82.3. Well, I've talked about how the power play goal was harder to score against a penalty kill.
Yeah, it's always the same scenario, I think, Chuck. It's very difficult to create goals, but a lot easier to break them down.
So the Comets 14 times have stopped a power play so far in the playoffs on 17 chances. So far, San Diego tonight has stopped 2 Kansas City.
So what do you think these two guys are talking about, Chuck? Alan Mayer having a long conversation here with SC Bahamas, today's officials, one of today's officials, and probably discussing the situation with the penalty kick.
138 remains in the San Diego power play. You mentioned San Diego stopped 2 Comet power plays, and Comet penalty kill will try and turn it around and do it to San Diego. 5:53 remains before halftime. 2-1 San Diego. You were saying you expected this to be a close, low-scoring type ball game.
Not just the ball game, Chuck. I see the whole series going that way. I just can't see this series, any of the games being high-scoring games, because the intensity and skill level of both these teams.
Ball kicked down in the corner for Dale Mitchell. Mitchell on the wing, and the foul will go against San Diego. And many times this season, the Comets have used Mitchell out on the penalty kill when they get the ball to maybe try and score shorthanded. 128 remains in the San Diego power play. Run fed. It's it back to Barry Wallace. So the Comets make an attempt here to score with Mitchell on the floor. Mitchell gets it from Barry. Mitchell, far side, kicks it off the board. Ian Frazier in the penalty area can't get a foot on it, and Gorsuch now will kick it out to Kevin Crow. Mitchell provides some defense until he can get off. Mitchell will go off, and Bonchek comes out for Kansas City. The Comets using some key substitutions there to try and get some advantages. Mayer knocks down the shot taken there by George Fernandez. Or Zoran Karic, rather. Karic took the shot. Allen knocked it down. 44 seconds left of the power play to San Diego. Hugo Perez moves left side. Frazier gets right in there and battles with Karic. Dave Bonchek helps out too. Now Runfed. Runfed kicks it way up along the touchline. Jim Gorsuch kicks it to Bronco Segota. Over to Hugo Perez. 20 seconds left in the power play to San Diego. Officials saying play on there, almost a foul by Runco.
In fact, twice already, Chuck, we've seen the Comets, one time with Runvet and one time with Bonchek. When it breaks down, they go in high pressure the goalkeeper and are taking a chance on winning the ball up in the offensive zone rather than just dropping straight back.
Comets have decided to call timeout. Mayer coming up with a big save there. Carriage had a chance, but Allen scooped it up. 4:20 left before halftime. Sockers lead 2-1.
Well, Chuck, Alan Mayer's belief is that when facing a penalty shot that you have to move no matter what. That is his tactical plan, and he does it here in San Diego in the arena. As we take another look at it, here goes Alan Mayer. He's off his line. He's taking the chances that the referee are going to miss that call. A smart play by Alan Mayer. He knows there's nothing else he can do, and the averages are probably going to go with him. How many times is a referee going to call that back? Probably not too many. We've seen one time tonight.
You know, on closer look, that ball might have hit the post.
Oh, the ball did hit the post. There's no question about the ball hitting the post. To go to hit the right-hand side, his left, that's where he hit the shot the other night. The ball did hit the post, catamed off the post before coming out.
I think I said at the time it either hit his hand or his foot just being kicked up, but now, after seeing it slow down, there's no question that it hit the post.
That's exactly right, Chuck. Allen didn't have too much to do with that one, except some fine play in that timing of the run. And as we took a look at that, Chuck, again, Allen believes he's got to move, and I think the first time he just mistimed that run when he came off the line. The second time, the timing was a little bit better as Segura approached the ball, and fortunately got away with it.
Alan Mayer and Essie Baharmas discussing things. 1 second remains in the power play to San Diego, so barring anything happening here, the Comets would have killed yet another one. Opponents had scored just 3 times on 17 chances entering this game.
And again, Chuck, can give enough credit to the young kids on the team. Earlier in the season we were waiting for these guys to mature, but they've matured rather quickly. You've got Bonchek, you've got Frazier, Chrissy Hundelt, who's now hurt, even Jim Schwab back in Kansas City. These guys have come a long way this year.
Power play has expired for San Diego. Gus McAllis, though, with a steal there in the neutral zone. Rafael Rodolo in the corner to Brian Quinn. Quinn now steps up, kicks it back to Gus McAllis. Brian Quinn will take it back and reset the offense, if you will.
Sure, Charlie Green will be unhappy with that. He takes a strawberry for nothing.
But we talked today also about the midfield and how that really is a big key in this series between these two teams and how one team may be able to control that one way or the other.
That's what all the transition is taking place, Chuck. The Comets hot flying forwards. Same thing with San Diego, and you've got to get these guys running. You've got to time the ball. The balls are going to be put right in front of them so they can chase onto it. So all the transitions got to come through the middle. As we take a look right here, Jan Goossens trying to play one off the ball, and I think it was clear. Oh, we don't see a Comets player there, but he was trying to play that ball off the board for an on-running Comets player. Unfortunately, it didn't work out.
Foul called on Kansas City. That's the Comets' 5th. So both teams have 5 fouls here in the second quarter with 3:14 to play. That means one more foul for either club, and somebody will be going on the power play.
This is where the Comets got to be careful. As Coach Clements pointed out to them early, didn't want them involved in chippy play, and what he meant by chippy play was just he wants them to hard tackle, but not the little kicks and bites that there's no need for, and give away silly fouls.
Charlie Green avoided one there as George Fernandez comes up with the ball in the counterattack. Fernandez almost pushing Charlie from behind. Mayer up with the ball.
Good work by Charlie Green to stick with that one.
Amir Haramina, he's a guy who's always right there in the scoring. He had 1 goal, 2 assists Saturday, and not a guy that maybe gets a lot of plum.
Oh, no!
What ball movement there?
Pretty play to Amir Haramina.
He almost deserved a goal there for the footwork he put on Jim Gorsuch. Gorsuch stood right with him. Mayer out of the box, Tasso. And Allen kicked it out. San Diego with another chance, though, with 2:10 to play, second quarter. Gus McAllis. Boots it here near side for Brian Quinn. Back to Hugo Perez. Perez had 2 goals Saturday night. Brought down by Bonchek. Kicks it off the glass for Demir.
Really interesting at that play. Our defensive unit right there consisted of Gazukas, Haramina, and Yang Goossens as Bonchek and Ronbet played up on top. But that just shows you what chances the Comets are willing to take to play as a unit.
Gus McAllis intercepts that pass. It was intended for Mitchell. He was all alone down in the corner. McAllis has played good defensively here in the first half. Keep calling his name. McAllis over to Perez. Perez looks at Demir. Demir stays right with him. Now Barry steps up to help out. Julie V from the top of the D, no. Mayer tries to wing it to Mitchell. Can't. Clavijo over to Perez. You might have seen Clavijo raise his arms to say, no, I don't want to foul. Neither did Mitchell. Juan Hermes back to Hugo Perez.
And Ian Fraser with a key play there. Perez looked like he was on the road to goal, and Ian Fraser with the side.
1 minute to play.
1 minute to play, second quarter. Comets trail 2-1. Perez. Looking at Tasso Katsukas. David Doyle tries to kick it out to Mitchell. Can't. Sockers maintain control. Clavijo over to Juan Hermes. Hermes to Julie V. He chips it, trying to look for Clavijo. Headed out by Doyle. Now Dale Mitchell. Mitchell will hold up, leave it back for Doyle. On the line change, though, San Diego gets an extra defensive guy as Fernandez is right there. Forces Doyle to kick it back to Ian Fraser. Tasso Katsukas. 20 seconds to play, second quarter. Ian Fraser over to Dale Mitchell. Mitchell's going to run and perhaps gun. Leaves it back for Doyle. Doyle shoots, blocked nicely by Fernandez. Doyle one-on-one, almost there on Gorsuch, and he was looking like he was loading up to score. 2 seconds to go. Now 1, and that's the end of the second period. Well, neither team scores. Both teams had some chances. We're at halftime. Comets trail 2-1. Well, with some of the socks that I've had on lately, the guys have been giving me some heat, so maybe I'll de-sock.
Well, in fact, Jack, you talk about knocking the socks off the sockers and displaying their feet. I'm glad the theme's not, let's knock their pants off. We've been in trouble.
Gino Schiraldi is here. He has not played so far in this game. As far as the Western Division Finals are concerned, Game 3 will be Wednesday or Friday night in Kansas City at Kemper. Game time 8:05. Then Sunday we'll have a game as well, 6:05, a special game, so you can get your whole weekend activities, enjoy the weather or whatnot, and be down at the Kemper for a 6:05 game. And then Saturday, May 21st, it'll be an 8:05 contest. Tickets available at Kemper. Cats ticket outlets. Call the Kemper box office or the Comets at 421-7770. We're at the half. Kansas City trails 2-1. We'll be right back. Look at the halftime statistics through 2 quarters of play. 8 saves for Alan Mayer, 4 for Jim Gorsuch. Although the shots on goal stat is more towards San Diego, 15-9. Blocks 5-4. So shows that the Comets playing good defense.
Well, and we're improving, Chuck, because this situation the other day on Saturday looked like something like 23-3. So I guess if you measure up to what we were doing on Saturday, we're in a lot better shape.
Comets trail 2-1 here at the half, and we'll have more on the halftime show right after this. And it's time now for our Classic Chrysler halftime highlights, brought to you by Classic Chrysler.
And so we take a look at this as the beginning of the first goal for San Diego as Kevin Crowe comes on an overlap, where we so often see Kevin Crowe do. And you'll take a look there as Alan Mayer does well in getting himself in position, but couldn't keep a hold of the ball. Actually rebounds off his chest as in comes Perez on the overlap. Defenders maybe caught a little bit watching the ball rather than the players, but Perez came from a very deep position and stuck that ball away very well.
Hugo Perez from Kevin Crowe, time of the goal, 4:23 of period number 1.
And here we'll take a look at Branko Segoda's goal, and what you didn't see there was the bad bounce that Batty Wallace got back off that board, and Segoda showing here why he's one of the premier forwards in the MISL. He's very aggressive, comes across the face of Batty Wallace, enabling Batty to not get in front of him and not put a challenge in from the side, and sticks it away underneath Alan Mayer.
That goal scored by Branko Segoda, 12:03 of the first period. San Diego up at the point, 2-0. Kevin Crowe with his second assist.
And the Comets' only goal here coming from Jan Goossens. And again, this is a record-breaking goal by Jan Goossens as he beats Greg Mikowski's old record for playoff goals. He's getting challenged and hangs in there, maybe calling for a foul, but sticks with it. He's on his butt, and he still sticks with that ball and sticks out his right foot, and that's Jan Goossens. You talk about putting him in from anywhere. This guy does it even from the floor.
Jan Goossens with his 8th goal of the playoffs. 13:58 of the first period from Kiev. The halftime highlights brought to you by Classic Chrysler Plymouth. Comets trail here at the half by a count of 2-1. And really, you know, as far as Kansas City is concerned, we talked about this a few moments ago. They're not in any real trouble. It's a one-goal game. They have maybe regained a portion of the tempo. At least they haven't let San Diego dictate things throughout the whole way. They've gotten a portion of that back.
But there's certainly no reason, Chuck, for our guys to panic at this point, and everything is going very well. Again, we've emphasized before how tough it is even to come into the stadium, and they're doing a great job.
One of the more interesting things about this game was a penalty kick by Branko Segota after Charlie Green was caught for pushing Perez from behind.
And here we take another look at it as Alan Mayer comes streaking off his line. He just mistimes the play. He comes off a little bit too early, and Bill Maxwell was already motioning in the corner that play had to be retaken, even though the complaints of San Diego players were all over him at that point.
So they reline it up and did it again.
Yeah, and we'll take a look here and we'll see that it actually did hit the post and come rebounding out. Alan Mayer does exactly the same thing, but just times it a little bit better. That was the master plan of Alan Mayer. He's playing the averages that, you know, referees rather, ain't going to call 2 in a row. He knows that, and Alan Mayer comes up big and forces Segota into putting that ball on the post and getting it rebounded out.
That's a shot about 75 miles an hour. When a guy comes running out like that, does that break the concentration of the man kicking the penalty?
No doubt about it, Chuck. That's a good point, and that's the name of the game in that situation, and that's why Alan Mayer makes them points that he does.
Got a change in goalkeeper for the San Diego Sockers. Zoltan Toth has replaced Jim Gorsick. We'll try and get word and see if Gorsick was perhaps injured or if they just wanted to make a goalkeeper change. Both are very good. Both have done the job throughout the year in this playoff series. Even though San Diego did lose 5-4, they have extremely good goalkeeping. So we're underway here, period 3. Comets trail 2-1. San Diego will have it to start things off. Comets employing David Doyle, Jan Goossens, Armando Betancourt, Dave Bonchek, and Kim Runfed, and of course Alan Mayer is in goal. Now Bonchek is going to be called for taking down a San Diego Soccer. I believe it's Carriage. It'll be the Comets' first foul.
Well, you talk about getting in a wrestling match here. This Davey Bonchek has got a little bit too tight with San Diego, and we were fortunate not to get another penalty kick called against us, because if we ever get a chance to take a look at that again, it'll be interesting to see whether that was in the box or not.
Carriage takes the shot from the top of the D, and it's too high. But it was very close to being inside that white box, if you will. Foul there by San Diego, and that'll be their first as Segota takes down Armando Betancourt. Betancourt so far in the playoffs, 1 goal, no assists, 1 point in the 4 games. Ryan Quinn, the midfielder, leaves it out for Carriage. Alan Mayer knocks it down, pins it up against the post, and gets the ball back from Runfed. Now he tries to throw a little lead pass for David Doyle. Doyle comes up with it. Boy, does Toth knock it down well. David Doyle got by Fernandez, took the shot, and Zoltan Toth, who comes off the bench to make the save. Barry Wallace stands in front of Quinn, makes him out, gets the ball. Now Gus McAllis, who played a fine defensive game in the first half, stops up the Comet tide. Again, Zoltan Toth knocks it down. Samir Haramina took that shot. Toth in the playoffs, 2-1, a goals against of 3. Has appeared now in all of San Diego's playoff games, all 5. Look at Jim Gorsick on the bench. He doesn't appear to be injured. Perhaps they just decided to make a change. Julie V. V rushes around Barry Wallace, and now you'll have a foul called on Julie V as he was pulling down on Barry Wallace.
And Essie Bahamas was right there. Referee Essie right over this play. As you'll see, Julie V reaching out with his left hand, and he's all over Barry Wallace at this point, and definitely a correct call by Essie Bahamas.
That's the second foul against San Diego here in this third quarter. Comets have one. Clavijo comes up with the interception in midfield. Fernando does the dipsy-do by Tasso. Over to Julie V. V to Watermez, kicks it up off the glass for Julie V. V just right at the top of the D. Jaramina kicks it over to Hugo Perez. Stop V from moving forward. Back over to Gus McAllister. V trying to kick it in. Didn't get a good swipe at it. Comets defense right there.
And the Comets defense, Chuck, actually opted to sit back a little bit and absorb some of the pressure as opposed to coming out and playing the high pressure, which we've seen him do through the series.
Watermez with a good ball over to Hugo Perez, and nothing falls in for San Diego. They're willing to give it up here in this game. They're dishing out as many assists and getting as many good passes off as the Comets are. Perez top of the D. Dougherty taken down by Ian Frazier.
And again, Chuck, that call was called just outside of the box, and we got caught again sometimes with the youngsters that go a little bit tight, a little bit too aggressive when they're in key areas. And this is what we've got to be very careful of here. As Dougherty does a tremendous job of shielding off Ian Frazier, but Ian is a little bit close and actually taps his ankles. And fortunately for us, it was outside the box, not inside.
Yeah, just outside the white paint. Carriage will kick it. Juan Hermes was the intended receiver. Barry Wallace stepped in front. Now Wallace gets it out to Mitchell. Mitchell in front of three San Diego defenders, and Mitchell is pushed down in a foul against the San Diego Sockers.
And what a great pass that was by Barry Wallace. What a tremendous move he put on back in his own defensive zone to set Mitchell away on this play right here. And as we take a look, Dale, as he does so very well when he comes cutting across the path of players, draws the foul from San Diego.
Bonchek takes the shot, knocked down by Zoltan Toth. Third foul against the Sockers. 11:45 to play here, third quarter. Zoltan Toth has come out and made three nice saves here in this third quarter. Carriage. I believe Kutsuka slid in and blocked that ball out of bounds.
Alan Mayer came up actually, Chuck, with a big save right there. It was the left hand of Alan Mayer, which actually gets a hand on that ball. If he doesn't, it goes across to the other side. As we take a look, left-footed shot, Alan Mayer. Oh, you were right, Chuck. Take it back. Tasso Kazukas with a tremendous tackle.
Thought he slid in there. Allen was right there too, but Katsukas took the strawberry and knocked it out of bounds, and San Diego will get it back. But boy, would that have been a big goal for him.
In this case, I'm glad I got you around, partner.
At any rate, Comets will continue with the good defense as Bronco Segota kicks it out of bounds up over the glass into the stands. Word on Jim Gorsuch, blurred vision. That's the reason for Zoltan Toth. So San Diego with the shots on goal advantage at 20-12. Zoltan Toth has got to come out cold, but he's a veteran. He's been around a long time. He's like Alan Mayer. They'll be okay. Ed Gettemeyer's the same way. He can come out in the third quarter or fourth quarter. They don't like to do it, but they do.
It's all part of the game, Chuck, and say two strong goalkeepers like San Diego got. Very proven, and probably at this point in time, Toth couldn't wait to get into the game.
Kia gets it back to Barry Wallace, and I'm sure Ed Gettemeyer is very frustrated sitting at home with his middle finger problem on the left hand. Talking to Doug Weisner before the game, it sounds like it's a painful injury. Barry Wallace. Wallace at the red line. Ryan Quinn puts it off with 1 foot, now the head. Gets it over to Paul Dougherty. Segota had a hand in it too. Kevin Crow. Out on the corner to Dougherty. Dougherty double teamed by Runfed and Kia. Get it back to Alan Mayer, courtesy of Kevin Crow. Now Charlie Green on the counterattack. Green will slow up in midfield and wait for Kia to slide down the touchline. Charlie at midfield takes a shot. Kia tries to follow with the head, and it can't as it goes out of bounds.
And that's what Kia, Chuck, does so well, is getting in behind defenses for rebounds like that. Unfortunately, Kia you know, couldn't get that on target, but it was a tremendous effort by this kid right there.
There's Kia in the playoffs so far, a goal and 3 assists. Well, now 4 assists as he had the assist earlier here tonight, so he has 5 points. He was third on the team this past year with 60 points. Certainly the surprise of the season for the Kansas City Comets. Kia at 5'5", not the smallest man on the floor here tonight. That honor will go to Paul Dougherty as he is 5'2". And Dougherty, by the way, number 2 in points for San Diego this past year. If you look at his contributions in the playoffs, only 2 goals, and they're very concerned about his production offensively.
Well, and then on the other hand, Chuck, we had Segota criticizing him in the paper this morning, maybe that he wasn't concentrating enough on his defense in the last game.
Nonetheless, it's 2-1 here in the third quarter. 10 minutes remain here in third period. Comets have done a good job staying with San Diego here tonight, playing on the road in the San Diego Sports Arena, a place where it's very tough to win, let alone play.
Chuck has seen 2 very good games in the playoff series this far, and going out of a lot of Cablevision networks, and they've seen some good entertainment.
San Diego at home, all-time playoff, 31-6. 2 of those 6 losses against the Kansas City Comets. We have viewers tonight in Overland Park on Telecable, Blue Springs, Lee Summit, Independence area on Jones Intercable, Greater Kansas City, American Cablevision, Sunflower in Lawrence, along with Falcon Cablevision in Sedalia. So they're all across the land tonight. Happy to have them here. Sockers on the counterattack. Won't be too happy if they score. Julie B with a header. What a great ball given to Julie B. And he put his noggin right on it and put it in.
And that's what they're all about. Hugo Perez with a tremendous play here as he sets the play up for Julie B, and he makes no mistake. As we take a look, we talk about that midfield transition, Chuck. That was a fine example right there. As Ward Hermes comes through this midfield, and he's the midfield instructor at this point in time, plays the ball out wide, a perfect ball out to Perez, and he takes this first time. He doesn't think about where this is going. Very well executed pass, picture perfect, on the head of Julie B.
38-year-old Julie B, now with 5 goals in the playoffs. Has 2 assists, and now a total of 7 points.
And what a key play, Chuck, by Ward Hermes as he broke out of that midfield and made a great lead pass to Perez.
Comets now have to regain their composure a little bit, keep the ball in control. Ball goes out of bounds, courtesy of Kim Runfed, but certainly 2 goals is something they've come back from before many times. In fact, when you look at comebacks, Comets have rallied in the second half. Also in the fourth quarter in its last 2 victories, the Comets won 9 games this year after trailing in the second half, 8 when being behind in the fourth quarter. So it's almost like, hey, spot the other team a lead and we'll come back.
Well, unfortunately, you can't spot San Diego on too many occasions, that's for sure. Probably one of the toughest teams in the league to come back again. So San Diego, a very tough team, and they've decided to lift their intensity up, and you know they're going to try and look after this one.
McAllis kicks the ball away from Jan Goossens. Karich on the counterattack. Karich fires, hits the post. Alan Mayer goes to the turf, and Alan got up a little slow.
And that's one thing you can't do, Chuck, is allow a guy to come straight down the middle of the field, taking you on one-on-one and going by the side and just taking the shot.
Tasso Katsoukas. Katsoukas looking for Goossens. Goossens scores. Goossens kept it off his chest, took the rebound off the floor and knocked it in. Jan Goossens with his 2nd goal here tonight. Shakes his head and smiles. Kansas City trails 3-2.
Well, Chuck, when you go down, this is what you need to do, is come back right away. As we see Katsoukas with the ball, as he passes it over. Right there to Jan Goossens, couldn't get control, but comes off the board. Toth has committed himself to the corner, and Jan Goossens sticks it in an empty net. And here we go again.
Tasso Katsoukas gets the assist then. His 2nd assist of the playoffs. Goose gets the goal.
And Toth doing what he had to do. He came out, but couldn't collect it off that glass there. You can't leave a guy like Jan Goossens open in the box. He knows that. He makes the commitment, couldn't get the ball, he had to pick up the pieces.
So the Comets do maintain their composure very nicely. They get that goal right back. Kia fires. Kia tries to head it in and can't. Toth had a good save and slapped it back out. Comets Comets almost seem to be really woken up. And here comes the San Diego Sockers. Water Miz lays it off the board. Miz tries to knock it back in after Allen tried to come out and save it in the penalty area and couldn't.
Oh boy, Chuck, if that was a deliberate play there by Davey Bonchek, it was probably the coolest play I've seen all year long, as he defensively just knocks that against the board.
Miz, Ian Frazier with a nice block out.
Unbelievable block as he just kind of sticks his heel out in a cross scissor type move.
Mayer dives for it right in front of the feet of Bronco Segota. 7:05 remains here, third quarter. Comets trail by 1, 3-2. Segota at the top of the D. Segota turning on Charlie Green. Charlie hanging right with him. Mayer knocks down the shot taken there by San Diego. Kevin Crow. Now Green out with it out front. Charlie, one of the fastest guys on the team, gets it to Dale Mitchell. Mitchell fires right into the sliding tackle there by George Fernandez.
What a great tackle that was also, Chuck, by Fernandez. Timed it very, very well.
David Doyle, wing far side. Doyle trying to get it into Mitchell. Gets the rebound off the leg of Dougherty. Mitchell almost knocked in there. An own goal by Crow. Oh, boy, the San Diego fans shake their head at that one.
That would have proved to have been disastrous for San Diego if they put that in their own net. You know, Chuck, we talked earlier about being patient and trying to get the mental edge and getting them frustrated. The Comets are lifting up the pressure a little bit. And that goal by Goossens most certainly unsettled San Diego.
Naso Katsuka's got the assist on that goal. And earlier here in the third quarter, the 5:56 mark, Perez got the assist on Julie B's header in. Shot taken there by Crow. Too high. Perez follows it up though. Hugo Perez gets another goal here tonight. He had 2 Saturday. He's got 2 here tonight.
And that's what Perez has been doing all night long. He comes back into deep positions to collect the ball. That gives him a little bit more room. And a guy like Perez just takes advantage of the room unbelievably. As he took Armando Betancourt on here in a one-on-one situation. We'll take here, look right here.
It's Crow that gets the assist. Perez gets the goal here in the third quarter. So, Sockers score their 4th. They lead Kansas City 4-2.
And here we go, Chuck. It's Hugo Perez that actually starts this move off as he puts the ball out to Crow, collects the rebound. We got Armando Betancourt trying to close him down, but maybe didn't have a good idea of actually where he was as he relates to the defensive side, protecting the goal. And Perez, he loves them situations, one-on-one.
What about the production of Kevin Crow? He has all 3 assists for San Diego tonight. Perez has an assist. 3 of the 4, courtesy of Crow. Duncan McEwen now out there for Kansas City. His first shift tonight. Demir Jaramina. Demir leaves it over far side for Tasso. Tasso gets by McAllis. Demir trying to fire. Can't. Gets it back. Demir top of the D. Scores and it's deflected off by Goossens.
That's a hat trick for Jan Goossens. Right there, the Goose gets his hat trick.
Demir took the shot and it was right deflected off of Jan, and these goals are coming fast and furious. Now everybody's answering each other.
They come in thick and heavy, Chuck. It's how you, I guess it's a great advertising here for MISL soccer as Tasso Kazukas, who's on a fine series himself, takes on McAllis. Ball comes out to Jaramina. He takes a shot. It goes wide. And then he actually was going for that top corner himself. Unfortunately, as we see time and time again in MISL soccer, there's someone there to tip in the shot.
Well, Jan Goossens had a hat trick against the Los Angeles Lasers. He has one here tonight. Kansas City trails by just 1, 4-3. Scoreless second quarter. The third quarter's been wild. There were 3 goals scored in the first quarter, and now 4 here in the third. 5:10 to play, third period. Jaramina gets the assist. The last 2 goals, 28 seconds apart. There was also a point in time when there were 2 goals about 1:03 apart. Bronco Segota up top, blocked by Ian Frazier.
You've got to give these Comets, Chuck, some credit. They keep doing it time and time again. It's like these guys never want to give up. They're down by 1, they're down by 2, they're down by 3. It doesn't matter. They come back at you. I'm very confident in the fact that they can put the ball away just as well as San Diego.
Goossens trying to turn, can't. You know, and one thing about it, Comets are used to having to play 4 quarters. San Diego's a team that's not used to playing 4 quarters.
That's right. The Comets have been doing that very well. Their transition game is good. Their changes have been good. And they definitely what we call a 60-minute team or a 90-minute team. They go from beginning to end.
Ron Newman looks a little frustrated there. He's saying, almost thinking, hey, every time we get out in front, these guys do something else. So he's going to go back to the notebook and scrabble something out on that piece of paper.
There's nothing that notebook can do, though, about Jan Goossens coming up with hat tricks. He's just a phenomenal player, and I'm sure beginning of the game, they always want to key in on guys like this, but what can you do when a guy's as hot as he is?
Jan Goossens equally dangerous, like a Bronco Segota. Dave Clements has maybe a similar piece of paper that he tries to figure out how to stop Bronco. The way you stop Segota or Goossens almost is if they get injured and they aren't healthy or 100%. You don't wish that on anybody, but that's certainly been the case with Segota. He's been a little injured. Segota turns, fires, Mayer knocks it down. Allen slides into the corner. Another good save there by Allen. Mayer playing against his former team in the playoffs. Certainly doing the job here tonight like he did Saturday night. Might mention Allen, part of an 82-83 team. One of the teams they had to knock out of the playoffs was Kansas City. Now he's trying to do it the other way. Segota against Mayer. Segota has it knocked down again by Allen. Charlie Green with a nice bicycle.
Yeah, really. Charlie's been practicing that.
He's had time. He hasn't played much lately. Had time to do that down at the soccer dome.
But what a dependable player, Charlie Green. I always know he can depend him at any time or any point in the season. He comes in and always does a fine job for the Comets.
I think that's a credit to him that he can stay in shape and keep his mind mentally sharp while he hasn't been playing down the stretch.
It's one of them deals, Chuck, where you wish you were a natural athlete like Charlie Green. That must be a nice feeling.
Goossens at midfield. He'll leave it back for Kim Runfed. Talk about athletes. Comets have quite a group of athletes out there right now. With Runfed and Mitchell and Bonchek and Kia and Betancourt, not to mention Mayer. Mitchell stays right in front of it, trying to get it over to Kia, can't. Wad Hermes will come back quickly the other way. He won't get a pass off to Karich like he wanted. Might have been partially deflected there by the Comet defense. Foul's going to be called against whom? San Diego, as Betancourt is put down by George Fernandez. Betancourt looks like he took a little bit of sand there off the carpet. They hadn't vacuumed this thing for a while.
Yeah,
that's
he's
the
probably get a few grazes right there.
And
as we see, that was a tackle from behind there, Chuck, and lucky not to get 2 minutes, San Diego.
Mitchell and Doyle down in the corner. They're cut off, though, by Fernandez and Zoltan Todt. Karich backheels it. Kansas City's right there. Frazier for the San Diego red line. Mitchell. Now back to Dave Bonchek, to Ian Frazier. 2:05 left here, third period. Comets trail by just one, 4-3. 1 point, though, it was 4-2. Brian Quinn steals the ball away from Bonchek. Comets can't get it back momentarily. Now it's Karich. Karich wanted to knock it back to Zoltan Todt, it looked like. He decided to go far side, Brian Quinn. What a great steal there by Bonchek. Open net, Mitchell turning, Bonchek can't fire it in. Great defense there by San Diego.
What a play there by Quinn of San Diego. Whew.
Comets had an open net chance. Mitchell was trying to maintain control and get a good shot on it, couldn't, then decided to get it over to Bonchek, and Bonchek was taken down.
But Dale, what a cool play at Dale Mitchell under them sort of situations. Rather than panic after he couldn't get the ball, lays off a tremendous ball across the box to Bonchek.
Boy, almost a knock in there. A great ball by Runfed, and Mitchell just couldn't keep his foot down on it. Here comes San Diego. Doyle gets in front of the ball. He takes his body into somebody else's hands. Dougherty just misses. Barry Wallace right there to get the Kansas City rebound. David Doyle at midfield. He's huffing and puffing a little bit, and he'll come out. Goossens. Over to Zoltan Todt.
Well, these guys, Chuck, we talked about on Saturday night that they were going to duke it out, and here they are, duking it out again, but in fine style.
About 37 seconds to play here, third quarter. Both these two teams have spent most of the third quarter running up and down. There hasn't been much lag time.
This is going to be some tremendous series, Chuck, and we'll make sure everybody out there gets on down to Kemper Arena for the home dates because you're in for a soccer extravaganza.
Wad Hermes is being pulled down by Kim Runfed, and Kim's going to get 2 minutes for it. Perez was almost getting into an open field situation. 19 seconds remain in the period, and now Runfed's going to get called for 2 minutes.
And you see there, Perez, as he so often does, using his speed to get past Kim Runfed. And Kim, he knows he's beaten him, so he puts out an elbow and does whatever he can to prevent Perez getting off any sort of shot on goal. And Kim doing what he had to do right there. Not too dangerous a situation when they're out as far in that angle.
So Runfed goes into the box. That's the second time Kansas City's been in the box tonight. They killed the earlier power play. San Diego killed 2 power plays here tonight as well.
And as we take a look at that, Chuck, of the experience of Kim Runfed with 39 games, and also what we might want to remind our folks that he's got 50 points in them 39 games, which for a defender is phenomenal.
Gino Giraldi's going to come out for Kansas City. This will be his first appearance on the field tonight. Gino had the right hamstring problem. In fact, he's missed several games because of it here in the playoffs. He injured it out in Los Angeles. Gino will get back to work for Kansas City and go on his penalty kill with 19 seconds left in the third quarter. Bronco Segota will kick it. Bonchek gets in front of it. 6th attacker, a super power play coming up for San Diego. Fernando Clavillo has put on the 6th attacker jersey as Ron Newman goes to that patented super power play. They want a goal here before the end of the third quarter. Giraldi at midfield as time expires here in the third quarter. So very dangerous there because the Comets almost had a good chance with Bonchek in the open field, but they couldn't get to it. We've completed 3 quarters of play. San Diego leads 4-3.
Well, as we take a look here, Chuck, at the foul on Kim Runfed, that's why Kim Runfed is in the box, because of that pull right there. But a smart play by Kim Runfed. All that was between Kim and the goal was Alan Mayer. And as we take a look at Alan Mayer there, he's come up with a great game for the Kansas City Comets, as does both the other goalkeepers, Gorsuch and Toth.
Zoltan Toth, 3 saves in the third quarter. Bear in mind, he's only played just 1 quarter. Jim Gorsuch played the first half out because of blurred vision. Here's a big save here by Zoltan Toth. Look at the way he just gets in there and keeps his body in front of the ball and uses his whole body and his arms extended out.
Well, that's what the goalkeepers got to do. They got to spread their bodies and spread their bodies well, especially in the indoor soccer game. So many times we've seen goalies save balls with their feet and with their shins and with their shoulders, and it's all because they just learned to spread themselves well.
So the Comets will try and kill the power play here as they start the fourth quarter. About 1:30 remains in the San Diego power play. Comets have had 2 power plays killed by San Diego. They've killed one of San Diego's attempts. Segota in the corner on the baseline against Ian Frazier.
This Chuck, a tough situation for Gino Giraldi. Coming into the game for the first time under a big pressure situation. There's still 1 goal in it, and he's got to come up big right here.
Wallace is going to kick it back to Ian Frazier, and there'll be 2 minutes coming up against San Diego. Zoran Karic for taking down Barry Wallace. So that'll nullify their power play chance.
Oh, and you know Coach Ron Newman's going to be pretty upset about this play right here. He didn't need it 2 minutes at this point in time, as Barry Wallace does an excellent job of shielding the ball from San Diego.
Once you're tripped up from behind, no matter where it is in the field, you're going to get a 2-minute call against you. That's exactly what happened there to Zoran Karic. 14:20 remains here in the game. Comets trail 4-3. Now, in the Comet penalty to them, 1:01 remains. So they'll have about 59 seconds on the power play once everything expires.
And what'll happen, Chuck, you'll see the Comets make a quick transition with that, and they'll get their power play unit on there very, very quickly for that last 59 seconds.
So Barry Wallace, Ian Frazier, Demir Haramina, and Dale Mitchell will be out there right now for Kansas City. Mitchell trying to get it down to Demir, can't. Anybody have an advantage here because of quickness or speed when you're 4-on-4?
Well, the name of the game here, Chuck, in a 4-on-4 situation is just keep possession and don't give the ball away. I think San Diego have an advantage because if we give the ball away, they're able to get forward with so much speed.
Hugo Perez at the Kansas City red line. Back to Kevin Crowe. Crowe's going to take a look at the clock and make sure he knows exactly how much time's remaining and everything. Segota at the top of the D. Segota leaves it far side, gives it over to Perez, and San Diego comes up with a goal there. They're fifth.
San Diego playing a great 1-2 there, and again, Perez and Segura, the two big players, two big guns for the San Diego Sockers, combining uniquely there for a nice goal for San Diego. And it was Segura here that started it. We talk about speed, Chuck, just before this happened. Segura is willing to take on two players with that burst of speed. Follows on through. Perez knew exactly what he was going to do with this ball as he just banks it off the board, which you see so many of these guys do in the MSL. In fact, goes straight across in the net. No bank off the boards, but a good pass from Perez.
So San Diego comes up with a goal, and they lead 5-3 here. 13:30 remains in the game. Dale Mitchell back to Bonchek. Ian Frazier over to Bonchek. The penalty to Kim Runfed is just about expired. Not a power play goal because both teams are in the box. Now the Kansas City goal or power play chance will be coming up as the penalty to Runfed has expired. Mitchell over to Jan Goossens. Goose on the wing. Goose trying to get into Kia, blocked out by McAllis. Goossens trying to kick it back up. Ball goes over off the board to Dale Mitchell. Mitchell top of the D, back to Demir Haramina. Over to Barry Wallace. Wallace, Mitchell can't slide it in. Barry Wallace just about at the same spot where Saturday night he knocked it in for a goal, and the game-winning goal.
And a great effort there by Dale. A very difficult ball to get under control when it caroms off the board at that sort of pace. And Dale did well to get his foot on the end of it, and unfortunately was a little bit high and wide, but still a fine move and a good play from Barry Wallace.
Barry Wallace with 7 points in the playoffs, 5 goals, 2 assists.
Well, Chuck, we talked earlier about the 4-on-4 situation and who would have the advantage at this point. And tonight, the San Diego team have actually scored on 4-on-4 twice in the game. So you talk about who has the advantage in that situation. Stats showing that San Diego do.
Kim Runfed wanted a handball, didn't get it. Now Runfed will come out and Barry Wallace will come in forward. Goossens, far side, can't get it in. Gus McAllis. Good defense there by Demir Haramina. He came back to stop up McAllis, trip him up momentarily. Now Wallace kicks the ball up high in the air, and it'll go out of bounds here on the near side behind the San Diego bench. Go ahead.
That call, Chuck, actually goes against the Comets as ball goes out of bounds, and we'll see this play restarted by San Diego.
What about the defense there by Demir to hold up Gus McAllis and keep him from going forward?
Yeah, Demir, well, he's not the, as we know, the greatest of defenders in the world, but he does try.
Demir Haramina had the game winner in Game 2 against LA. Certainly has contributed in the playoffs to the Comets. Might be quiet, but he doesn't. Sakota has his pocket picked by Ian Frazier. Now to Kim Runfed. Runfed looks for offensive help, gets it Dale Mitchell. Mitchell between the top of the D and the red line. Mitchell holds up on the ball to Kia. Kia holds off Crow, back to Mitchell. Mitchell right into the arms of Coe. Comets couldn't have done any better there. Segota lays it off his chest. Mayer comes out and knocks it away. Very close to a 3-line violation, but Segota stopped, played it off the chest, then went forward. Mitchell turns, can't get a good shot on it. Cope is right there to scoop it up. Leaves it out for Doherty. Here's Paul Doherty. Charlie Green in front of the pass intended for Julie B. Now Green upends Julie B, and the foul will go against the Comets.
And I think Charlie's showing a little bit of frustration there as he goes battling on the board with Julie B and gives him a little back heel that brings him down.
Fernandez fires twice. Mayer knocks it out of bounds. That foul was the first against Kansas City this quarter. Alan Mayer with a nice slap there to keep that ball from going in.
Well, they always say, Chuck, if there's any doubt about whether you can hold the ball or not, then you do decide to slap the ball away. And if you get any sort of touch on it and knock it out of the goal area, that's what you need to do. And Alan Mayer right there does a good job of getting that over the back of the glass.
So the Sockers will get a corner kick here. Julie B will do the honors. Very dangerous situation. Doherty in the penalty area, can't knock it in. David Doyle. Doyle knocks it back, and Zoltan Toth will play it off his chest. Now Toth out of goal, and San Diego, they're going to say, knocked it out intentionally.
And that'll start on the top of the arc, and as we've brought up in a lot of our previous broadcasts, that's a new rule where once that ball goes over the top of the glass in this situation, it gets stopped at the top of the arc. And remember, the Comets so dangerous in these situations.
Top of the D, it'll be Goossens that will put the ball in play. Probably to Barry Wallace. Wallace fires. Koch with a nice knockdown. And the reason they're so dangerous is because you've got a guy like Barry Wallace who has a booming shot, as does Goossens.
We saw Barry Wallace do that exact same move in the LA series. And then he scored.
10:50 to play. Comets trail here by 2, 5-3. Goossens looking for Doyle. Doyle couldn't get a foot on it. If he could have, it would have gone in. Run fed over to Barry Wallace. Armando Betancourt over to Kim Runfed. Number 1 defense hold the number 1 offense right now. Runfed plays it off the glass back to Armando Betancourt. Ball on a play, touched by the fans.
Thomas Chuck trying to get back into this game and certainly some pressure there on San Diego. And as you brought up the point in San Diego, number 1 defense in the league, doing a very good job at this point in time in containing the Kansas City Comets.
Coach Dave Clements having a chat there with David Doyle, explaining to him what he wants him to do.
Get it down there, get rolling, and get after it. Come on, we got to play with it. Sometimes you're not going to be able to pass it. You're going to have to make something happen by going after it.
Getting a word of the advice there that Coach Clements has given the guys on the bench.
Give our fans an opportunity to hear what the coach thinks.
Bonchek takes a shot. Goossens maintains. Oh, it hits the post.
Jan Goossens nearly comes up with number 4.
Unlucky there. How many times do you hear somebody say hit the post, but not quite like that?
You know, Chuck, we know a lot of great players in the game of soccer outdoor make a big living picking up the pieces just like Jan Goossens does in the box. In that box area, he's just tremendous.
Foul against Kansas City, the Comets' second. Oh, there they were looking in the middle for Rafael Rodolo, but Rodolo couldn't get the pass from Karich. Whistle, the stoppage of play. Foul against Kansas City, the Comets' third. Rodolo pushed along the boards there. Kim Runfed will towel off. He's a guy that spends a lot of time on the field, though. He takes little breaks to get his wind back and then goes right back out. Mayer reaches down and picks up a shoestring off of Kevin Crow. 9:40 to play in the game. Comets trail, led by just 2. Karich intercepts the pass there. Hugo Perez for Segota. Segota, Juan Hermes almost looked like he had an easy shot at it, but just couldn't get his foot on it.
He sure did up and find one-touch play once again by San Diego. They don't want to take too many touches on the ball. They play the ball quickly. They play it very well and very accurately as Segota hit it first time, setting up Hermes.
Segota looking for Perez again, and it's Alan Mayer. And we sure see the difference, don't we, of Bronco Segota to the San Diego team.
Such a key player for them. The guy is involved in everything.
Mitchell, one-on-one. Koch knocks it down. Koch with a good sliding save there. Demir gets the ball back. And now a foul will be called on Demir Haramina.
Well, Dale had an option there to go one-on-one with Koch, but maybe felt that the defender, number 6, Fernandez, was coming up on his right shoulder. Opted to go for the shot, try to tuck it underneath, and unfortunately didn't work out.
Foul on Kansas City, their 4th. Sockers don't have any. 8:38 play here, 4th period. Sockers lead by 2. Ryan Quinn, Hugo Perez, he plays it off his chest. Charlie Green, and Kia knocks down Hugo Perez. Oh, it'll go the other way. That'll be the Sockers' first foul. So Perez gets the call instead of Kia. That's good. Julie Beal on the boards. Perez with a near dangerous play there. Leaves it over for Brian Quinn. Julie B at the red line. 8 minutes to play in the game. George Fernandez into the penalty area. Hugo Perez tries to bicycle. What a save by Mayer. Mayer put himself prone, laying out, and Alan Mayer's down.
What a save, Chuck.
Allen had to use his whole body there to get in front and knock down the ball. and Allen goes down. Doug Wiesner comes out, and this means Kim Runfed's going to have to put on some goalie gear if Alan Mayer can't continue, because Ed Gettemeyer's at home injured.
Well, as we take a little look here, Chuck, we'll see Perez with the Vector's goal. He tries the bicycle kick, which comes coming off the board right here. Alan Mayer just sacrifices his body on that play, and it's actually the kick on the chin that was bothering Alan Mayer, not the shot that hit him in the chest. Right after he made that save, the follow-through, he got caught right on the chin, and that's what's bothering Alan Mayer right now.
Dave Clements is going to come out for Kansas City. Kia is there along with Gino Schiraldi. San Diego trainer also there.
A conversation with Doug Wiesner down in the locker room today said that he was very concerned that if anything should ever happen to Allen, that Eddie Gettemeyer is a little ways off just yet, and struggling with that sprained finger, and very important situation here for the Comets.
Alan Mayer with 16 saves here tonight. Comets trail by 2, 5-3 with 7:52 remaining in the game.
And Alan Mayer with 9 concussions in his career, and we see why he's always getting in the thick of things right here as he makes it what was one of the most tremendous saves we've probably seen all season long. He sacrifices body and soul and ends up with a kick on the chin for his efforts.
Ed Gettemeyer took a shot on the jaw in one game, and he was able to continue, and Ed could barely even close his mouth after Game 2 against the Los Angeles Lasers. And Alan Mayer is still down on the field right now.
And the hope is, Chuck, that he's actually stringing this thing out to give his teammates a little bit of a breather, and hopefully it's not too much of a severe incident for Alan Mayer to continue.
Well, if necessary, Game 6 would be 2 weeks from tonight. We would have that game for you here on the American Cablevision Sports Network. Airtime 9:30 with play-by-play at 9:35 that evening. Of course, Games 3, 4, and 5 are coming up at Kemper Arena. Alan Mayer's taking some balls right now, kind of warming up to make sure he can stay in there.
Yeah, it looks like Alan Mayer is actually going to stay in the game, Chuck, and if we can just hang on for another couple of minutes here, because the Comets are down by a score of 5-3, and probabilities are that Coach Clements is going to pull Alan Mayer probably in the last 3 or 4 minutes, so the Comets go with the 6th attacker. So if Alan could just hang on here for a couple of minutes, and he might get an early rest anyway, should this score remain at 5-3.
Kim Runfed, as we mentioned a few moments ago, would be the goalie if Alan Mayer can't continue. He'd also be the 6th attacker. So Kim might be changing that jersey for whatever reason here in the next few moments.
Well, Kim Runfed is everything for the Kansas City Comets. He's involved in the field offensively, defensively, and mixes it up, and is quite comfortable in the goal. Kim Runfed just does it all for Comets.
6,469 here in attendance tonight at the San Diego Sports Arena. They're seeing a good game between two very good teams who have used offense and defense throughout the night here tonight.
Certainly, Chuck, is MISL soccer at its finest. This is what sells the game of indoor for the league.
Now the Comets, between the next couple of minutes, will try and buy themselves a goal before they'd have to get 2 from a 6th attacker standpoint. Runfed steps in front of the pass. Can't get a ball to control. Now Dougherty's going to have a chance here. Paul Dougherty takes a shot. No, it's wide. San Diego keeps it, though. Karich gets it back to midfield to Kevin Crow, who has 3 assists here tonight. Jan Goossens has 3 goals, but so far that's not enough. It's enough to keep him close, but not enough. So Goose with all 3 of Kansas City's goals. Segota, he has a couple of goals here tonight. He'd like to help get San Diego an insurance goal. Segota keeps it in front of him, gets it away from Betancourt. Doyle kicks it out. We'll have to reset for Brian Quinn. Less than 7 minutes to play with San Diego leading by 2, 5-3. Brian Quinn, Barry Wallace. Wallace gets a good ball off to Mitchell. Mitchell has it knocked from behind by Crow. Dale gets it off the board. Turns around and looks for help. Nobody there. Now Tasso Katsoukas off the foot of Crow. Tasso near the top of the D. Tasso turns, fires right into the legs of Brian Quinn.
Tasso Katsoukas, Chuck, has had a quiet end of the season, and a lot of times you wonder, Tasso, when he comes off the field, doing a great job, although he's not always in on the scoring and the statistics and everything else. Tasso's been doing a tremendous job for the Comets defensively, and looks like he can go on forever playing this role for the Kansas City team.
San Diego now trying to take some air out of the ball, if you will, and run down some of that clock. 6:06 to play. Hugo Perez. Perez against Bonchek. Perez in the corner. Perez taken down. No foul called. Demir Jaramillo with the ball. Now Demir loses the ball. Demir throws an elbow, but it's Perez that gets the foul. The second on San Diego.
And S.E. Bahamas all over this call as he stood right behind both players on this play. See, both guys are battling against the board, and it's Perez is coming in, digging from behind. And right on top of that play, though you don't see him in the picture, is referee S.E. Bahamas.
But you also saw right at the tail end there out of the corner, Demir throw the elbow. And now you'll have the sixth attacker coming out. Good chance here because they don't have to call a timeout to get Runfed out on the field. So with 5:55 to go in the game, Runfed comes out as the sixth attacker. Comets with 21 goals this year. Sixth attacker. It's the first time in the playoffs that they've used the sixth attacker, though. So it's been quite some time. Stand corrected. They scored a goal at home on the sixth attacker, but at any rate, they haven't had to use it much. Mitchell gonna have to get back. Runfed, what a save in the penalty area. Now Mitchell heads it out.
And the call, Chuck, I think is probably going against Perez there for dangerous play. That's what Dale Mitchell was asking for anyway. As we take another look there, great opportunity for them to go ahead. Actually, I think Kim got a touch on that ball, and the call goes against Perez right there for high kicking.
Runfed looked like a receiver who dropped the ball. He had his hands open there like he wanted to catch a pigskin. He did knock the ball away and save it from going in. Oh, gets out of goal. Runfed collides there with Branko Segota. About 5 minutes to go in the game. Goossens.
That's what Branko Segota is all about. He took a hefty whack there from Runfed, but sprung straight back up and wants to get involved back in the game.
Barry Wallace. Kia in the penalty area has it knocked out. Now here comes Segota. Mitchell trying to slow him up from behind, does momentarily. Wallace gets in front of the pass intended for Brian Quinn. Segota knocked out from behind by Kia. Here's Wad Hermes. Hermes in the corner. He gets it back to Brian Quinn. 4:30 to play in the game. Branko Segota and Mitchell tangle up. No foul called. Segota lying down in the field. The band's upset. Here comes Runfed to Kia. Kia through the defense. Stolen away by Mukalis. Foul call, though. It'll be against the Comets.
I tell you what, Chuck, it's unusual that the referee would call back that call because they were on a breakaway, and normally you want to let the team with the ball have the advantage. Sure, it was a foul maybe on Kia, but what Mukalis wants is the referee to wave play on because he takes away the advantage by giving them that call.
That's the fifth foul against Kansas City. San Diego with just 3, 4:15 to play. That's why the fans were booing.
That's exactly right, Chuck, and that is entirely up to the referee. He can let that foul go, which he should have done. It's what they call playing the advantage.
Here's Segota and Katsoukas. Segota from behind made a push. He'll have 2 minutes against Branko Segota. Segota did a push against Katsoukas, and Segota will go to the box again.
And Branko Segota himself certainly likes to mix it up as him and Tasso Katsoukas, but oh my, a very obvious elbow right in the ear of Tasso Katsoukas, and Segota has nothing to complain about on this call.
So with 4:04 remaining in the game, Branko Segota will go to the box. And the fans don't like it here.
And I'm sure the crowd are complaining because they maybe feel that Tasso Katsoukas is pushing himself, but Tasso in a legitimate challenge for the ball with Branko Segota. It was a foot race. Segota very frustrated in the fact that he couldn't get by Katsoukas and just hits out with the elbow, and he got what he deserved, the 2-minute call. Fans
are upset and they're throwing some things in the field to show their displeasure. So we'll have a momentary stoppage of play here. Comets on the power play tonight. 0-3 San Diego, 0-2. So power play goals have not been scored here tonight. The Comets certainly are going to need one, and need one fairly quick so that they can get back out there and score one from a sixth attacker standpoint. Now I ask you this. you've got to leave Kim Runford out there with the 6th attacking jersey and have your own super power play version.
That's exactly right. Now they can put all sorts of pressure now on the San Diego defense, but Kim's got to be very careful here, because if we give up another goal, that could put the game away for the Comets. So, yep, super power play is a wonderful opportunity, but we got to be very conscious of the fact not to give up anything silly at this point, because one more goal probably puts us out of it.
Well, the support staff and the Sockers have cleaned up all the cups and things that were thrown on the field. Not a whole lot, but enough that they had to stop play to get it cleaned off. 4:04 to go in the game. Segota will go into the box, and now Essie Baharmas will go over to the assistant referee, Rosalie Cram, and say something, and then run back here near side. Bill Maxwell standing over the ball right there. There's a look at Bronco Segota, who's in the box. So the Comets have it, super power play. Their own version. Dale Mitchell. Mitchell to Kia. Puts it out to Kim Runfed. Comets have to be selective here. Remember, they don't have a goalie. Goossens. Now it's George Fernandez. Fernandez is going to kick one from way out. And no, he won't kick it into the open net.
Actually, Chuck, makes me a little bit nervous up here with Kim Runfed as he decides to post up on the right-hand side of the play as opposed to being the quarterback in the middle of the goal. And when it breaks down, you maybe want Kim in the middle of the field, so he's the only one that can pick it up back there.
It's a 3-line violation. They're saying it was outside the red line, so even if that had gone in, it wouldn't have been a goal. Comets will get it right there at the middle of that red line. San Diego's in. Wallace in the corner to Demir Jaramillo. 1:30 left in the power play to Kansas City. Headed out of bounds by Jan Goossens.
And Goossens actually got a good touch on that ball right there, Chuck. Very similar to the goal that he put in a little bit earlier. Just that ball was traveling too fast for him to get a real good touch on it.
Kim Runfed so far in the playoffs. 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points. This is 5th game. Dave Clements and Gino Schiraldi directing things for the Comets. Gino, of course, the captain. Dave Clements, the head coach, the guy with the ultimate decision-making process.
And we just saw a stat there that showed Dave Clements as the Comets leader in playoff games, and in fact, as far as wins and losses, and Dave Clements is 14 and 15 in the MISL postseason play.
Kim Runfed gets it back from Barry Wallace. Comets have won 4 straight coming into this game after closing out the regular season, losing 4 straight. Certainly hate to see that streak continue. I mean the loss thing, if this will go back the other way like it almost seems like it's supposed to. Wallace takes some shot, knocked down by Cope. Mitchell will run it down at midfield. Less than a minute to play in the San Diego power play kill, if you will, the penalty kill. The Comets with the advantage here for another minute or so. Kia, Goossens, Kia. Right there is the San Diego defense, Fernando Clavijo. Demir Jaramillo knocks it out of bounds.
And the Comets setting up on this play with Jan Goossens and Demir Jaramillo down in deep, and they're pushing the ball around on the top, hoping to pull them guys out of there and find a little bit of space down deep with Goossens and Jaramillo, which they did with Kia posting up in the middle. As we take a look here, here's a fine example of Kia comes out, pushes the ball out wide, eventually ends up with these guys right down here who are posting in the back of the defense. That's what they're after. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out for them on this occasion, but the Comets doing a good job in finding them guys down deep.
The defense in front of Zoltan Toth and Jim Gorsick tonight has been incredible for San Diego. David Doyle comes up with it. Goossens, Toth goes down as he stops the ball. Goose in the corner, can't keep control. That's McAllis for San Diego. Now the Comets steal it away. Demir Jaramillo. Demir shoots, fires, knocked down by Toth. Following up is Doyle, he can't get it in. 19 seconds left in the power play for Kansas City. 2:15 to play in the game. Comets really need to get something before the power play expires. Now 8 seconds. Mitchell knocked from behind by George Fernandez. Dale in the corner to Goose. Goose trying to backheel for somebody. Power play expires for Kansas City. Carolina takes a shot, knocked out of bounds by Gus McAllis. So San Diego kills the power play. 1:58 to play here in the game. Zoltan Toth has done a good job coming off the bench.
He's done a tremendous job, come up with some key saves here as he faces one of the hottest forwards in the league, Damir Haramina. Just a tremendous performance by Toth. Really been in this game.
He's on in relief of Jim Goossens, who left after the first half because of blurred vision. 5-3 San Diego. Goossens has 3 goals for the Comets. Perez has 2 for San Diego. So does Segota. Julie B has 1 as well. Run fed up top to Dita Kia. Shot taken by Segota. Segota's going to have a chance at a hat trick if he can get it in. Segota off the board. No. 1:40 to play in the game.
Doing a great job there was Kia as he got himself back. Segota, very, very quick play, but Kia was able to get himself back and force Segota with that ball going into the boards.
Damir Haramina almost knocked in by Clavijo into his own goal. Mitchell trying to fire into the penalty area for Damir. Can't. Wallace comes up with a steal. Barry to Damir. Damir gets around Toth and scores. Damir Haramina with 1:18 pulls the Comets to within 1.
And that's why it's so important, Chuck, to have people winning balls in situations like this. Once you get the ball, you can stop playing, and Barry Wallace makes a key tackle right here, coming up big with a steal right here. Barry Wallace, Clavijo tries to dribble out from the back. He anticipates it, intercepts it. The Comets go 3-on-1. And here Damir, I thought had maybe lost the opportunity, but comes up big and tucks it away. Damir Haramina has really been a San Diego killer ever since he's been in this league. And here's Barry Wallace with a great play. Toth does all he can. Damir niftily tucks that ball inside.
So Damir Haramina gets the goal for Kansas City. Barry Wallace the assist, and Barry Wallace continues to have a good playoff. He has 3 assists on the playoffs with 5 goals. Damir also is having a good playoff series with his 3rd playoff goal.
Barry Wallace is just phenomenal in these sorts of situations, Chuck. Every time the Comets got a couple of minutes left, we pull a goalkeeper or we have a man advantage. Barry Wallace, time and time again, comes up big for the Kansas City Comets, as he did right there.
Well, San Diego calls timeout. They want to make sure that they got all their ducks in a row because 1:11 remains, and Ron Newman wants to make sure that all his guys know what's going on out there on the field. So he's elected to take a timeout with the Comets trailing by 1. So you're Ron Newman right now. What are you going to say to your guys against the Comets' 6th attack?
Well, I think he's got to remind them, first of all, of how prolific these guys are in these sorts of situations. Got to have a very high concentration level, and when they win the ball, they don't want to rush too quickly forward to try and score another goal. They're already ahead by 1. Name of the game for them is don't give it back up.
Well, regardless of what happens here in the next 1:11, there'll be a plane flight tomorrow for the Kansas City Comets and San Diego Sockers. They're both on flight 326, and the Comets want you to welcome them home. So go out to KCI, Eastern Airlines, flight 326 tomorrow afternoon.
I'm talking to Doug Wiesner today. The guys can't wait to get back home. That was a big concern of his. They're not having the fun time in sunny California that most people would have. It certainly hasn't been a vacation for these guys. Okay, head coach, Coach Clements, make sure he doesn't stay out. And there we took a look at Dave. He was the guard of the guys over this last week period. Would not let him out in the sun too much. And these guys can't wait to get back. It's been a long road trip for these guys.
Some of the non-players, though, for the Comets, guys like Richard Dawson and Doug Wiesner and Tim Bryant certainly have worked on their outer skin a little bit, but they stayed out for the most part.
They've been busy people, too. This has not been a fun trip for the Comets. It's been a hard-working trip.
At any rate, the Comets have a little bit more work to do here with 1:11 remaining in the game, trailing by 1. San Diego looking to even up this best-of-7 set at 1 game apiece. Certainly the Comets, when they came in, wanted to have a split of this series. Now they want 2 games, though. Run fed, trying to get around Juan Hermes, gets to Barry Wallace. Wallace over to Hermes. Great defense here by the Sockers. Kia leaves it for Damir.
Great
Damir
defense.
at the red line.
Great defense, Chuck, by the Sockers. Tremendous play by Wallace and Runvid to break that high pressure, that full court pressure, and get the Comets going on the attack.
Comets trying to send it into overtime. Damir Haramina. Damir turns. Kia can't ball it in.
Kia! An excellent opportunity for Kia to put the Comets back in the game.
Tie it up.
As we take a look here, it's Damir Haramina that sets up the play. Both couldn't get a hold of it, but following up was Kia. Unfortunately, couldn't keep it down, but full credit to Kia right there. He does that so well, getting the rebounds, getting his body in there. He times the ball very, very well, and did a great job in creating that opportunity for the Comets.
Comets have been on the power play quite some time. From a sixth attacker standpoint, really shouldn't say power play, that's not totally accurate, but they do have a man advantage without their goalkeeper. Dale Mitchell to Kia. Kia at the red line, back to Mitch. 20 seconds to play. Goossens was looking for the ball down low. Was blocked out nicely by San Diego. Now 15 seconds to play. Soccer's doing an excellent job on defense as they have been throughout the night. Well, we're going to say the ball went up and over the glass. They're going to give the ball to San Diego with 12 seconds left. It's been one defensive play after another tonight for this team, the San Diego Sockers.
Well, they knew what they had to do, Chuck, coming into this game, and they've done a great job, but let's not discredit the Comets in any way. They had a great opportunity to tie the game up right at the very end, and that's not a criticism of Kia. That's just an observation that the Comets maybe weren't so bad after all.
Ball headed out of bounds by Gus McAllis. So 8 seconds left in the game. Comets trail 5-4. Not many people would have given the Comets a chance to win game one and be within maybe a missed hit of tying up game two and sending it to overtime.
And that's correct, Chuck. It's unbelievable that these guys came in and number one took that game on Saturday, and here they are, had a great chance to tie the game up at 5-5 and maybe take the second game. I don't know any other team has ever performed like this against the San Diego Sockers. This is like a coming of age of the Kansas City Comets. They're just playing some tremendous soccer.
And I think what's maybe most impressive is San Diego jumps out to a 2-0 lead in the first quarter. Comets get one back in the first, and San Diego gets a third goal in the third quarter after a scoreless second. Comets get one about a minute later, then San Diego comes up with one a couple of minutes after that, then the Comets follow. So it's been not necessarily a back and forth type battle, it's just that the Comets have not lost their confidence. They've not maybe gotten mad at each other or fallen off the pace. They've stayed and played right with San Diego. It's just that San Diego has gotten a couple of more breaks.
And here we take a look right here, Chuck, as this was definitely a key in the game here for Toth as Kia. He's coming in on the picture right here, right now. Couldn't get his foot on it, couldn't keep the ball down, and goes over the top. And the Comets with just an excellent opportunity there to tie it up. But again, not to criticize Kia, he's been doing a great job, and that's one thing he does better probably than anybody on the team, is getting himself into situations like that and creating opportunities.
So 8 seconds left in the game. Can you get up and get a shot off in 8 seconds? That's the question now. Runfed will boot it. Headed by Mitchell. Blocked out by Kevin Crow. 2 seconds, one, and the Comets have lost game two to the San Diego Sockers, and this best of 7 series is now tied at 1 game apiece, and the soccer fans throw the confetti out into the field.
Well, Chuck, we're in a situation where, yep, the Kansas City Comets have lost the game by a score of 5-4, but in some respects it's been a moral victory for the Comets, because a lot of people were probably wondering after game one when we came here on Saturday, was it just a fluke? Was it just a flash in the pan? Well, the Comets have come back today and gone out there with another tremendous performance, and they're just convincing all their fans back home. But no, this is not a fly-by-night team. It's not a flash in the pan. They're capable of some great things and come out with a great performance tonight.
Bear in mind, the next 3 games are at Kemper Arena. Friday, Sunday, and then a week from Saturday.
And the way these guys are playing, Chuck, they've got a tremendous opportunity to take all 3 games at home. That's a possibility, and we can win this series back at Kemper Arena.
This series doesn't necessarily have to come back here to San Diego. Final score, San Diego 5, Comets 4. We'll be right back. Chuck Hines along with Clive Griffiths from the San Diego Sports Arena, where the Sockers win game 2 of this best of 7 series, 5-4. And let's maybe talk a little bit about some of the performances in this game. Jan Goossens had 3 goals. Hugo Perez had 2 goals. Bronco Segota had 2 goals. Kevin Crow had 3 assists. Demir Haramina with a goal and assist. So certainly some good individual performances up and down the score sheet, offensively and defensively.
Yeah, just some tremendous performances from both teams, actually, Chuck. And we saw tonight, I think, exactly what Branko Segota means to this San Diego team. He comes up big. It's not just the goals that he scored tonight, but he was involved in a lot of key plays, Branko Segota, and just did a tremendous job for the San Diego Sockers.
Final score 5-4. Your immediate assessment of this game was that the Comets proved that they could play with San Diego.
Yeah, no question. And I think, the game just went exactly how the game went on Saturday. We're under a lot of pressure, but we hang in there. I think that was the game plan, and it went to plan for the Kansas City Comets. We come up with an unbelievable opportunity to tie this game at 5 in the last seconds of the game, and you can't ask for more than that. These guys have done a great job. They've lived with the best in the league, and give them full credit for that.
San Diego's been a team that has been there up and down throughout the years. The Comets proved that they could win a playoff series this year with their win in the first round over the Los Angeles Blazers. So certainly when you talk about teams that have something to prove, it would be the Comets as opposed to San Diego. But Comets certainly playing tough with the 3-time MISL champions, 2-time NASL champions. 5-4 final. We'll be right back. I'm just glad Clive Griffiths wasn't in that commercial, because you got to see the way his feet look.
I promised my wife I wouldn't show my toenails to anyone, Chuck.
5-4 the final here, and looking at the Western Division Finals, they will continue on Friday evening, May the 13th. It's hard to believe that's the day after tomorrow, but it is. Sunday, it's a ball game as well at Kemper Arena, 6:05, so you can do your weekend stuff and then go to the ball game. And then Saturday, it'll be May 21st, a week from Saturday at Kemper Arena. So the next 3 games will be at Kemper in this Western Division Finals. Tickets available at Kemper or the Comets box office or the Cats box office. At any rate, you can get more information by calling 421-7770. Now we're ready for our Able Auto Service Player of the Game, and for the Kansas City Comets, Jan Goossens. Hello, Jan. Can you hear me? This is Chuck and Clive. I guess we're not going to Jan Goossens here momentarily. We will be, though, as soon as Jan can get set up down on the field. He's got his socks off. I don't know that he necessarily is ready to de-sock the Sockers, but Jan Goossens will have a hat trick here tonight.
And you would take a look at the goal that actually gives Jan Goossens his hat trick, as Demir Haramina actually takes a shot on goal, but the Goose is hiding out right behind in the back of the defense there, and luckily so, because he gets a deflection on there, puts the ball in the back of the net, and gives him another record.
Goose, this is Chuck and Clive. You had 3 goals tonight. Certainly, I probably wish you had 4 or 5 to give your guys a victory, but maybe talk about the game and your performance against the Sockers this evening.
Am I on?
Yes, you're on. Go ahead.
Okay, I don't think it's time to look at my own performance. I think we have to look at the team performance. We came in very strong, especially tonight, same as the first game, and what we're looking for was a split, and we're happy with what we got. Maybe we came out a little bit short today, but we tried our best.
Yeah, Jan, this is Clive. You talk about the team performance, and the team performance of the Comets over the last 2 games, I think, has been the big key in the victory on Saturday. And today we had a great opportunity to tie it up at 5-5.
Oh, sure, we had a good opportunity, but you have to be realistic, of course. The last couple of years they have the best team, and to steal 2 games out of their building, that's very hard, and we have to be, realistic. We're very happy we had 1. We had a good chance to get 2, but we got 3 home games coming up now, and if we're good enough, we beat them at home.
Jan, you guys had a good performance this week in San Diego. I'm sure that you've gotten a lot of confidence and looked at 3 home games next week. It's been a long time since you played at home, but I'm sure you guys are looking forward. But thanks for taking time out to talk with us, and good luck throughout the playoffs, and particularly Friday and Sunday.
All right, thank you.
Jan Goossens here with us on the post-game show, the Able Auto Service Player of the Game. And once again, the Comets lose tonight 5-4. But Clive, your final thought? I think they gained confidence here in this building over this past few days.
Going to be a great series, Chuck. I'm looking forward to it, and some great games at Kemper coming up. Don't miss it.
So again, our final score for a final time tonight: San Diego 5, Kansas City 4. For Neil Harwell, John Dennison, Clive Griffiths, Chuck Hines saying so long
from sunny San Diego. It's nighttime, but the Comets' hopes are not yet lost.